I ain't sticking around for 6 hours.
6 hours.
Oh, this is Wes. Welcome to Thinking Critical with the great Fatal J. Fatal J is one of the greatest people that you will ever experience. We're glad you're here. Make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Thank you very much.
Wow, people know it's not me because I would never say Fatal J is anything other than the hack that he is. Speaking of Fatal J returning to the show, you finally had some time for us?
Hey, man, I love you with all my heart. What can I say?
Well, if you haven't been checking out Fatal J's channel, it's like blowing up right now, man. What happened? What'd you do?
No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not.
You said like 100,000 views on a video. That's pretty good for a channel that's less than 10,000.
Well, people love to hate me, I guess. I mean, you know, I have that personality.
They were hate watching it? They weren't enjoying it?
No, they was enjoying it. They was enjoying it.
It's like the Howard Stern effect. You know, you just got to see what he's going to say next.
Yeah, I guess so. But look, man, I don't know, man. I'm just happy to be a mediocre YouTuber, I guess. I don't know.
I'm right there with you. I'm sitting right there in that mediocre YouTuber place as well. So Fatal J, it looks like you have new digs. Did you move? Did your wife put you in a closet? What happened?
My wife told me, she said, I'm sick of you with this YouTube stuff. I'm sick of you going in the living room and screaming and talking about pop culture stuff that no one cares about. She said, move that crap to the bedroom or you're getting kicked out. I said, yes, ma'am. I'm absolutely sorry. I'm basically Will Smith at this point. You know, whenever she's...
There is a joke out here about... No, I'm just going to shut up. I'm going to shut up right now.
Hey, be like Chris Rock. Be like Chris Rock, because Chris Rock could have ripped Will Smith after that, but he thought about it. He said, "No, I'm not gonna do it." Did you catch that? He said, "No, I'm not gonna do it."
Yeah, wait till he goes on his next comedy tour.
Yeah. That was weird for a G.I. Jane joke, but I guess some people said it was warranted. Whatever, man. Yeah. What do you think, Josh? You're a pop culture guy. You lived in Hollywood. Is there a lot of slap fighting going on?
Apparently from Will Smith there is. It's not the first time he slapped somebody. I have opinions because I legitimately know people who have worked with Will Smith, not on the acting front, but like in costuming and hair, and they have not had good things to say about him for years. So I've kind of had that influence me, and I'm just like, I think the dude's kind of trash anyways. So I wish he would have gotten dead. Actually, I wish they would have just pressed charges to be like, fuck you, but you know, Chris Rock's
had to resign his spot in the Academy.
Oh, boo fucking who. All that means is he can't vote for the Academy Awards. Like,
it's an honor.
No, okay. When I was in high school, my director, my teacher for theater in high school could vote for the Academy Awards because he was a part of the Academy. He had done films. And he was like these 2-bit little roles that had a line here or a line there. But he could vote. It's not that much of an honor. Like,
man, I hope your high school like music teacher isn't watching here. Like, Josh liked you, man. I don't know why he's disrespecting you now.
Look, he didn't care. He legitimately was like, "Hey, you want to vote? Sure." Like, ninth grade, 10th grade me going to town. This movie's great. This movie's trash.
I don't know. I haven't watched the Oscars in a very long time, and that wasn't.
I've never watched the freaking Oscars. Freak the Oscars.
I literally forgot that they were on.
The same.
I think everyone did. That's the problem.
This is one of the highest ratings
good stuff on Twitter, and it was like 40 seconds of him getting slapped, and then Chris Rock thinking about it and going back on while Will Smith yelled, "Get my wife the name out your mouth," or something. It was something stupid. He was yelling.
Well, maybe his wife should get something else out of her mouth.
Oh, nice one, very nice one.
You weren't hoping for monetization, were you?
Yeah, right.
It's a chance you take with these hooligans.
Yeah, between my hand gesture and
he almost said with these idiots. He almost said with these idiots.
You're idiots. Nothing I could do about it. Obviously, we got Doc in here. Doc and I are going to talk about Immortal X-Men tomorrow. And then on Monday, I made him read Batman Phase Clan because I hate Doc so much. Next week, we're going to do that Batwoman comic and Spider-Punk, dude.
So you're saying those posts will also be demonetized?
I try to edit around what Doc says. Eventually, when I start my Patreon, it'll have unedited Doc videos. You can see all the shit that he says that I have to cut out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck me. How am I working with this one? I don't know what.
Motherfucker, you're going to end up demonetized on Patreon too.
I think that's mostly politics. I don't talk about politics here.
That's a good point.
Right.
Pretty sure I can say some.
Who else we got here? We got Drew from Comics Elite. You were out at a Comic-Con last weekend.
Hey, yeah, it was arguably the worst convention of the store's history and my history, and not going back to that one.
No?
Drew, quick question. Who drew that avatar on your thing?
That's Jamie Tyndall, the co-publisher of Merc Publishing.
Oh, okay. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, speaking of which, Gabe, yeah, I want to send you some PDFs of Born of Blood 1 and the Catfight versus Naughty and Nice for you to read and review.
Send them on over. We'll get them reviewed.
Awesome.
I can't guarantee they'll be positive.
Hey, we just want reviews.
Yeah, remember, this is his first comic book ever. It's likely going to be a work in progress. Don't be too harsh, Gabe.
I don't play favorites.
I play unfavorites.
Hey, what we do? What else we got? We got Gabe from Comical Opinions and Weird Science DC. How you doing, Gabe?
Happy Saturday to you. Happy Saturday to the chat and everybody in the panel. I'm looking forward to talking about this week's developments.
Yeah, we had some fun stuff. We've even got a few super chats in here already. We'll get these out of the way. And thank you so much to everybody for supporting the channel. Super chats are open if you would like to. And also, if you like these awesome shirts, you can go to Redbubble. There's a link in the video description if you want one of those Thinking Critical shirts. They're a good deal. You can also get coffee mugs. I think you can get leggings, Fatal J. You want some Fatal leggings?
Yeah.
For when you go jogging or yoga?
Yeah, I'm gonna promote you, man. Put them on Instagram. And
man, do not wear Thinking Critical yoga pants if you're trying to. I
am. You said it. I'm doing it.
All right. There is going to be video of Fatal J with the Thinking Critical logo on each ass cheek and him fucking twerking somewhere.
Like
somewhere.
Hey, my stuff been going viral lately. Where so? Thank me later. That's all I'm saying.
I don't need that kind of promotion. We've got Federico de la Casa. Hi, guys. After a few weeks, I read the first comic was a manga, Kaiju number 8. Fantastic. Not Alan Moore level, but good and devoured in minutes. Definitely recommend. What do you think about Kaiju 8? My goodness, Gabe. You're the manga guy.
No, I like Kaiju number 8 a lot, actually. They're in the beginning stages of the manga. They got a little repetitive. Basically, Kaiju, for anybody who doesn't know, Kaiju number 8 is basically a bit of a future society where these monsters called kaijus have just been springing up and attacking the population. So they developed this elite sort of paramilitary force to take them out. This one guy who's sort of a schlub who sort of works up in sanitation and cleaning crew, he somehow gets infected with a kaiju, so he can transform into the monster to kind of fight them off, and then he becomes part of the crew. So, kind of a fun story, kind of an interesting story, and the stakes are lately in the more recent chapters are really starting to get big. So if you want kind of like paramilitary kind of Godzilla, but also a little bit of G.I. Joe type stuff kind of mixed in there, Kaiju number 8 is a good manga to get into.
Man, I think Fatal J is ordering it right now.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm a huge manga fan, man. The Japanese just don't hold back. They don't hold back. I love it.
They don't write for Netflix.
Yeah.
That is an issue. We got Kenneth Dalley. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Hello to you, Wes, and the panel. Great to see you all. Wes, I know you run a tight ship, which I like, but if anyone gets out of line, I hope you won't slap them like Will Smith did Chris Rock at the Oscars. Just joking. Listen, if I could digitally slap Fatal J, it would have happened by now. You know what I mean? I've got no problems with that.
Slap a vision.
Well, you know what? For some reason, I would probably be honored that you did that. You know?
Yeah, a little permanent mark there on your face. See what I can do to it. I got a ring on. It'd be fun. But, I don't know. If Fatal J and I ever actually meet in person, we're just gonna get some breakfast burritos and eat some cereal anyway. You know what?
Man, we gonna meet, man. It's coming. I promise you.
Oh, you're in Texas. I'll be down there eventually. I got family there, and all my friends do cons there. So
yeah.
Then I mean, you know, obviously Josh is there too.
I was about to say, like, Fatal J and I are only like 45 minutes away from each other.
Perch is now in Texas. Everyone's in Texas.
It's the place to be.
Yeah, it is. It's freedom. It's freedom, man.
Freedom and good food. We got Eric Canetti, the man behind Arcathy, who had another successful crowdfunding campaign. I believe it wrapped up 2 days ago. Ooh. Hello, Wes. Hello, panel and chat. Well, thank you very much, Mr.
Can I say something real quick about Eric? Eric, consider doing ASMR videos because when I listen to you on live streams, your voice is just so soothing to my soul. It does something in the inside and it makes me feel good about myself and make me feel squirmy. And just, I don't know, I just feel like life is going to be okay when I hear you talk. So, Eric, please consider doing ASMR.
If he started his own podcast and just it was like Eric Canetti reads you a book to go to sleep to, I would subscribe.
If he was there with All Things Considered, on NPR, I could see him being that voice.
Eric Canetti reads, Charlotte's Web. You go to bed to that or something.
Oh fuck yeah!
Just maybe like that.
I would feel so relaxed inside like 2 minutes. I would. The only problem is he wouldn't get enough. Like he wouldn't sell enough because it would take you so long to make your way through the first book that he's reading you because you'd fall asleep inside 5 minutes every time.
Yeah, that's good service though.
I know, but then he can't sell you a second book.
Well, you gotta have one for every night of the week,
Eric's voice is like the world's softest, smoothest mouth hug.
That's the perfect way to describe it, too.
Man, when I was in the military, we used mouth hug in a different way.
I was gonna say that. I don't want to. No.
I'm not gonna agree with that one. But Eddie's a great guy. He's got a great voice. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. And like I said, congratulations. We got Lade Kramer. If Pedro gets too out of line, Kenneth means he will evoke Batman Ninja Kid and teleport in and unleash 1,000 Will Smith slap attack on you. If somebody slaps the shit out of Fatal J live on camera, I'm gonna, I will send you money.
Wes will super chat you.
Yes, you send me your PayPal. We get it all square, and I thank you very much. This is like 1,000. It'd be great. Like I said, thank you so much to everyone for supporting the channel. We've got people talking about mouth hugs. Uh-oh.
No,
man, you took this chat dirty, Gabe. What the hell, man?
I invoke feelings. That's my job.
So MVP's looking for recommendations in Texas. I lived in San Antonio for quite a few years. It's a nice place.
I lived in Houston.
Houston sucks.
Considering MVP's temperament, obviously he must go to Austin.
He seems like he could be a foodie. I'm with you. You know what I mean?
Look, you don't have to be in Austin to be a foodie anymore. Like,
you can be in San Antonio and go down to Austin. It's only an hour
San
away.
Antonio's got some nice areas. I would say look in some suburbs right now because so many people are leaving other states to hit up Dallas, Houston, and San Antonio and Austin. So
yeah, that's how you get old Fatal J and not Fatal J. That's how you get Perch in Dallas. Dallas is another nice city. So yeah. A lot of good places in Texas. Let's talk about comic books. That's what people came here for. There was the Simu Liu Shang-Chi incident. I guess he's going to be doing, I believe it's WonderCon. I can't remember the exact, maybe it's Amazing Con. One of those. And he's charging $150, Fatal J, but he won't actually sign Shang-Chi comics, at least the vast majority of them, because he says they were offensive. What do you think about this with Fatal J? You seem like a man from the streets.
Man, let me tell you something. I actually have a few of those Shang-Chi comics in the back, like the old school ones. And I will say this, it is some borderline stuff in there that could be considered offensive. I must agree with that. But I don't understand why people will want him to sign those freaking comics when he didn't have nothing to do with those. It's not the same look. Just have him sign a Marvel movie poster and just keep it moving. But that's just me. It's just me.
Marvel movie poster.
I mean, the posters of the movie, the Shang-Chi posters. Why would they sign the comics? He didn't have anything
because the only reason anyone gives a fuck about a movie is because the comic existed before it.
But the Master of Kung Fu don't have nothing to do with the Shang-Chi.
I understand. I understand. The movie we got is Iron Fist with some fucking land of make-believe shit in the middle of it.
Yeah, some fantasy type stuff.
So it had nothing to do with Shang-Chi. It might as well have been a new character, but the only reason anyone ever evangelized for it or If everybody said, hey, we're going to create a movie in the Marvel universe that has no character that has ever appeared in the Marvel universe before, and they're going to be the star, we're going to create a new Marvel character strictly for the movie universe that's never been in the comics. You know what Marvel fans are going to go? We don't give a fuck then.
You mean like Mortal Kombat did?
Yeah. Yeah.
I try to watch that, man. That movie is absolutely terrible. But we do have a point here. This is all I gotta say. Darth Bobcat, it makes the point. If the character is so offensive, why take the part?
Yeah,
it's not like the comic books weren't available when he took the part. If he didn't want to be a part of something that he deemed offensive, why would he even take it in the first place, Gabe?
Money, exposure.
I thought you were doing mouth hugs or something.
No, I'm going although, when we're done, I want to hear about your military experiences with mouth hugs. I mean, you said you had experience with that, so I want to understand what's going on there because I have genuine concern for you now. I'm just letting you know. How many people actually knew of Simu Liu prior to Shang-Chi coming up as a casting choice, and that was part of the phase? Nobody. I mean, if he was on some show, Kim's Convenience Store, and it was like a sort of a sitcom,
Canadian sitcom.
Nobody knew who he was. So if he was looking to elevate his status, elevate his exposure, elevate his bank account, of course he's going to jump at that. Of course he's going to jump at it. So did his decision have anything to do with the canonical history of the character? Absolutely not. And if you go back to the origin of the character is more like James Bond who knows martial arts.
Yes.
I mean, that's basically what it boils down to. It's not anything complicated. He didn't have powers. His skill set and his expertise were what made him a valuable member. So it was really kind of tying into that era of wanting an action hero who could do a little bit of spy work, could do some super duper fighting stuff, and then also somewhat capitalize on that whole era of Bruce Lee films, Jackie Chan films, kind of the early stages of that. That's all it is. It was Marvel Disney that kind of added in the supernatural elements and made it like sort of an Iron Fist rip-off clone, so to speak. So of course he's gonna go after what he can get payday now. He doesn't care about the character. I don't think anybody who is currently working in the MCU cares about the origins of the character. They just wanted a new character that kind of represented that cultural aspect. Right, wrong, or indifferent. If you're okay with it, great. If you're not okay with it, fine. I'm with Jay on this one. If you wanted him to sign something, just have him sign the cover of a Blu-ray or the poster, and just forget about the history. Most of the time, and I won't say all the time, but I'll say most of the time, whenever you're looking for a signature on something, there's an implied intention of elevating the value of that item. Like if I get a Todd McFarlane, Spider-Man cover or Batman cover, and then I get Todd to sign it, well, that elevates the value because he did the work. Getting the actor who played in the movie that has nothing to do with the origin of the character to sign the comic, if somebody's thinking that's going to be valuable, I'm not seeing it other than just for the signature itself.
We're at a Comic-Con, and people are going to want him to sign something, and what's going to be readily available at a Comic-Con? Shang-Chi comics. I mean, I think that's all has to do with why people would want that, right? Right, Drew? I mean, you were just at a con.
Yeah, but Gabe has a point. I will say this in my experience with actors signing comics, there is almost next to no profit margin on those. Mm-hmm. Like it's like they may be $100, $150, you're to get them signed, but you're going to make a profit as a store. You're going to double that price, and not many people are going to want to spend $300 on a signed Simu Liu Shang-Chi Blu-ray cover. I wouldn't. I know most of our customers wouldn't. I'd be saying, "Are you sure?" Honestly, to those customers. But I don't honestly, unless you're a fan of it, that movie, that Die Hard of it, you go by all means get it. But if you're a comic book fan, don't waste your time with him.
Honestly, this whole thing with him not wanting to sign the comics, I don't think it has anything to do with that. I think it has everything to do with the fact that everybody already forgot who the fuck Simu Liu is. No, we already forgot who he is, and nobody cared that much to begin with.
Well, to be honest, he wasn't the real. If you think about it, he wasn't the star of the movie. It was his sister, and more or less, that was the hero of the story. He was just a side character in it.
Yeah, I mean, everybody that's well, of course, it's a man. You can't make them a hero anymore. But regardless, nobody gives a shit. He's already lost any sort of name recognition of his name penetrating through into the cultural zeitgeist. Chris Evans managed to become Chris Evans from Captain America. Robert Downey Jr. went from that guy that was the pill popping drug addict, alcoholic, back to being like a huge star because of Iron Man. Simu Liu went from who the fuck Simu Liu to Simu Liu back to who the fuck is Simu Liu in under a year.
Yeah, but he had the COVID stuff going on. A lot of things weren't filming. He is in a couple more movies with big stars that are scheduled to come out in like the next 2 years.
But he's asking for signature prices. He's asking what A-listers ask at conventions for signatures, and he's not. I'm sorry, he's not an A-lister.
He's not.
If anything, the place where that market is not in comics, that's not where you're going to find the value. There's a whole other subculture related to celebrity signatures, celebrity autograph type market. That's where it would come to play. And usually when those collectors want those signatures, they want it on something that's pristine, where you can read it easy, usually on a blank piece of paper or maybe a headshot or something else. So to get it on the comic does nothing for the value of the comic. It's the signature that's the value, but that applies for a completely different collector market.
Doc said it right. No one give a freak about Simu Liu, Simu Liu, or whatever his name is.
My whole point
Nobody
is,
give a freak about it.
He signed up to do the character. The character's history was known to him. If somebody was a lifetime Shang-Chi fan and wants him to sign their #1 issue, and they're gonna give him $150, he should thank his lucky stars. Anybody wants to give him $150.
This is the thing about it, Wes. If you follow this dude's history, he's been tied to nothing but drama. This is another thing to get his hype up. That's the secret. He's one of those drama type people. He knows nobody give a freak about him. Let me tell y'all the secret. Let me tell y'all the secret. Exactly. Let me tell y'all the secret about entertainers who nobody give a freak about. They have to constantly be with drama. They always have to give you drama. This is nothing but drama. That's what his PR person told him to do. So everybody can go see what this dude is all about. Nobody give a freak about Simu Liu or Simu Liu. Skip to my Lou, my darling.
Level celebrities were having their sex tapes leaked.
Yeah,
by their managers and stuff. It was oh great,
Kardashians.
Now we're down to Screech. Like, are you kidding me? Dustin Diamond.
Yeah,
Simu Liu is quickly becoming the Ray Fisher of the MCU. So I'll pass on that.
Yeah, you gonna let us talk about Ray Fisher like that, Fatal J? That's like. I thought you were a big fan of his.
Look, let me tell you something. I told you I'm a Snyder cultist, but I understand other people's opinions about stuff. I'm not going to get upset about that. That was a good comment, a good statement.
All right. Are we done with this one? This doesn't feel like all that important.
Shout out to Ray Fisher, though.
We got a
Ray
few
Fisher fan.
Super chats in here. We'll get to those and move on, I guess. Federico de la Casa. I've been raised in the 70s, and Bruce Lee was the reason I started martial arts. Simu Liu speaks like there was none before him, and all that and all the other martial artists. I believe that's what.
Let me tell you something. I hope not, because that was not. If you're a Jackie Chan fan, that was basically Shang-Chi, the Marvel Shang-Chi. All the moves he was hitting, you seen that already in Jackie Chan movies.
Yeah, but that was also
in the Bronx.
I was gonna say that was intentional. Like, he had Jackie Chan's crew doing the stunt.
Okay.
So,
because see, I'm a martial arts head, so I know about. If you copying somebody's style and all that type of stuff, I said this is a Jackie Chan movie.
Look, I'll take Gordon Lau over Simu Liu any day of the week. I'll take Gordon Lau any day of the week.
All I'm gonna say is I was waiting for Wes to call on me, and he never did. Ooh. But my comment was just gonna be, Canadians.
You don't even like Kung Fu.
You interrupted my point, man. No, I'm kidding. My comment was gonna be Canadians. Am I right?
Yes. Exactly. Maple syrup drinking. Oh, never mind. I got Canadian viewers. I think Canadians are great.
It's my job to shit on an entire country during this show.
I will say, I think Gabe, I'm pointing the wrong way. I think Gabe actually had a point that we didn't touch on when he mentioned Cyborg. What's his name?
Ray Fisher.
Yes, I started calling him Miles Fisher. They're both two brand. I know they're both two brand new people that are young that just got like thrown into a quote unquote A-list property, and I think that's something that the industry needs to be careful about. And if you are going to do it, try to train your guys to like know what to say and when to say it.
Josh, I never thought about that.
Yeah,
Never thought about that.
We've
I'm
also
personally
got
offended that Josh would associate a Snyder property as A-list.
All right, man. I'm not gonna let you talk about the Savior like that, man.
Hey, hold on.
Savior. Oh,
300 was really good.
let's be honest.
Zack Snyder, I'm sorry for their sinful ways. Zack Snyder, I am so sorry.
Don't you blaspheme in here?
I was gonna say at the time that it came out, it was more of a Joss Whedon property, anyways. So,
well, that's true. Yes,
more of a Joss Whedon thing. Absolutely. We got Kenneth Dowling. 100% agree with Dart Bobcat. He campaigned to be cast in the role, and shout out to Gabe for his points as well. Gabe had good points. Well, at least it's not Doc. You know what I mean?
Give it time.
Doc has great points too. He teaches you how to wash your butt. You know.
What?
See, there's a reason why I knew I love Fatal J.
Yeah.
He taught you how to wipe your butt. What kind of adult are you?
He teaches you how to wash your butt. You know?
So that's why Doc used to say "wash your ass."
Yeah, he was talking to Fatal J. It was like
You'll be surprised how many people don't know how to wash their butt properly,
or just wash their hands. Period.
Well, that too.
Yeah. You're surprised.
The amount of people who didn't wash their hands at this convention, leaving the bathroom, terrified me.
Ideator, mangabot.com is a good manga source. Listening to Perch and Nerdy Girl rave about manga for some time, its strength in long-term consistency is long-term consistency. Is that what you agree on, Fatal J, or do you think it's the art? What is it about manga that drives you to it?
Oh man, it's incredible. It's pretty much what we love about comics, and they don't hold back with it. They're not afraid. The art is beautiful. And watch this. This is the beautiful thing about it. The artists, these guys get paid minimum wage. They get paid minimum wage. Some of these manga artists barely surviving in life, and they put so much passion into the art. You can't beat that, man. I wish all the manga artists out there could make millions, but they don't. They make McDonald's money. And shout out to people who working at McDonald's.
Like old Will Smith in The Pursuit of Happiness, just sketching away, hoping for that big break.
Yeah. Yeah.
One day we'll turn Doc eventually. He'll finally decide that he wants to read a good comic book again. We've got Common Sense. And didn't Simu Liu who played Shang-Chi because he said there's no aspirational Asian heroes, and that backfired on him, include the fact that people read manga.
It's everyone. Look, I'm sorry, but every time to a lot of these new generations of actors, actresses, writers, directors, producers, comic artists, comic writers, editors, no history existed before today. And Simu Liu is just another person that doesn't recognize that history did not begin the day they were fucking born.
That's right, though. You read about that one.
More true than we'd like to believe. The video's already been demonetized. Good job, Doc. And I've already requested a review. I don't think we've done anything.
How did that happen?
It just happens. Maybe it's because we're talking about Simu Liu. We've got Kenneth Dowling. People are sleeping on Donnie Yen. Put some respect in his name.
I love Donnie Yen.
Yeah, he's great.
I love Donnie Yen.
If anybody has any doubts about Donnie Yen, just watch the first Ip Man movie.
Absolutely.
Hey, all these Star Wars solo movies is coming out, shows. Donnie Yen should have had his own Star Wars solo. The blind dude in Rogue One? Yeah.
He's dead.
I don't care.
They doing one about the other dead guy. Remember the dude who was in Rogue One?
Yeah.
What did they call him? He was one of the was it the Guardians of the Way or something like that? I forget the exact force term for it. But
the original name.
He was one of the best characters in that film.
Yeah, he was.
They did an entire thing with Boba Fett. That motherfucker got eaten by a giant worm.
Guardian of the Wills. That's from
right.
original George Lucas screenplay for Star Wars there.
Oh, come on. And let's be honest, the Book of Boba Fett was just Mandalorian 2.5. So
it was horrible.
Didn't watch it, so don't care.
Donnie Yen was really good in Blade 2.
Oh, that's right. He was one of them. Yeah.
He was awesome in there. He doesn't say a word. all physical presence. Really like that. Yeah, we got Ideator. Zack Snyder is the Arby's of filmmaking.
Yep.
All right, man, stop it, man.
That's disgusting, man. Why would you say that about Arby's?
So this is gonna be one of these shows. He said no disrespect Arby's.
Man, you set yourself up for it.
He's like the Captain D's of filmmaking. You know what I mean? Captain D's nuts with their fish planks and fucking hush puppies. You know
Man, it's Uwe Boll.
That's pretty damn low.
That's rough.
That's the guy that makes all the video game movies, right?
Yes, all the
Don't
very,
talk
very bad video
about
game
the
movies.
king. 2
Yeah.
Oscars, baby. You just remember that. 2
Exact.
Oscars. We won 2 Oscars. 2
A lot
Oscars.
of crap is
Not
won
one.
Oscars nowadays. It doesn't mean, but I don't like the implication because I love Arby's and hate Zack Snyder. I don't like him being compared to each other. That's hurtful.
Okay,
We got Lade Kramer.
I give it an exception. I know you got super chats. I wasn't too much of a fan of Army of Dead. Okay, you got me. I wasn't too much of a fan of Army.
You
of
yelled at me on my channel because I said it. My wife didn't like it. You kind of made fun of her.
I will. No, I did not. I would never talk about Mrs.
You
Thinking
disparaged the missus. I remember.
No, I didn't. That was somebody else.
Lade Craver says it's too bad Tony Long Wenwu upstaged Liu. I think that's 2 people, Tony Long and Wenwu upstaged Liu.
Oh, he played Wenwu. I think it's more of a tragedy that they killed Wenwu. But I mean, look, if you didn't expect Tony Leung to upstage Simu Liu going into this movie, like you're smoking crack. I mean,
Oh yeah, he was dope.
Honestly, I would have preferred a Ben Kingsley Mandarin movie over this entire thing.
I mean,
I did not like Ben Kingsley's Mandarin.
I don't like him as fucking Gary or whatever the shit his name is in the.
It's Trevor, lad.
Trevor. That's it. Whatever other.
I would have been much
stupid name.
happier if they had kept him Mandarin and played it straight instead of the switch.
It was
I
going
thought
well until that
presence,
point.
his presence in the role, which is kind of ironic that he was acting, was phenomenal for that role, for what he was trying to accomplish.
Absolutely.
He
He was unsettling. Like,
especially whenever they did that Marvel one shot where they said that he had all the surgery, a bunch of plastic surgery to look like the Mandarin. And then the Mandarin doesn't look anything like Ben Kingsley. They could have been like, okay, they kill Trevor and Ben Kingsley plays the real Mandarin again. That would have been fucking rad.
I think you're overselling.
So Wes, let me tell you this. So you wanted the Mandarin in the beginning of Iron Man 3? You wanted that
when
Mandarin?
I thought he was the Mandarin, it was pretty cool. When I found out it was a swerve, it was just some drunk British guy that liked soccer.
Yeah, they dropped the ball on that one.
I was like, wah, wah.
That really made Iron Man 3 a bad movie when they did that, in my opinion.
Well,
yeah, there was a lot.
There's no Iron Man in it until the end.
Yeah, there was
Iron
a
Man
lot
had a lot of
behind.
problems.
Yeah, there was a lot behind the scenes of that movie that changed and didn't go out like it was supposed to. I do think that twist was always there from the beginning, though. I mean, to get back on Wenwu, I will say if we could have gotten like a mini series of Wenwu, I would have taken that shit in a heartbeat.
I would too.
Through the decades, like hell yeah, give it to me. But,
I've
Hey,
literally
to
already
me,
forgotten
the
everyone.
goofy girlfriend made the movie dope. To me, if she wasn't in the movie, I wouldn't have gave a freak about that movie.
Dasani?
What was her?
You
what was her name?
Aquafina?
Aquafina?
Oh, that's it. Yeah.
Deer Park, whatever the shit water name lady she is.
All right, Federico De La Casa says Simu Liu, Ray Fisher, Brie Larson, all they have in common is they are entitled but poor work ethic. Same thing in comic pros like Vidal and Lucewell.
I don't think it's poor work ethic. I think it's just they're not all that. There's nothing great about them. They don't have anything that makes. They don't have that thing that variable that makes them that it factor.
I thought Brie Larson was good in 21 Jump Street.
Oh, she was good in that other comic movie too. What was the name of that movie? With the video games.
Scott Pilgrim.
Scott
About
Pilgrim?
Scott Pilgrim.
Uh-oh.
Well, she was a singer in that movie. In
Do you remember? Do you hear them, Fatal J, or are you goofing off? Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Is that what you're talking about?
What? What the hell is he?
What the hell happened to Fatal J?
I have no
He's
idea.
having a stroke. Somebody nudge him.
Somebody.
All right. Well, it's
I'm
Scott
confused.
Pilgrim.
But regardless, none of them are all that interesting, and they don't have. So the only thing they can do is just make fucking drama in order to get their name out there. Because if they had to exist solely on the results of their work, nobody would give a shit after like a week.
Oh, I thought Ray Fisher Cyborg was like the only good thing about the Joss Whedon Justice League.
But it was good, but it's not enough to push the guy over the edge into legitimate stardom.
Well, it was a bad movie too. But Josh, you disagree with me? You didn't think he was good in that movie?
I didn't think there was much good at all in the Joss Whedon cut. I remember walking away from the Joss Whedon cut thinking that the only character I actually enjoyed was the Flash, but that was not Barry Allen, and that was not the Flash. So take that for what you will. And honestly, the best scene in that entire movie was the post-credit scene where Flash and Superman race. Like, to me, I was like, fuck yeah, give me that.
I was gonna say Deathstroke and Lex Luthor. That for me, that was the scene for me. Just that's what I wanted.
Yeah.
I think Fatal J just left. Like, he got an email, muted us, started answering it, and then like left.
He couldn't take all the Snyder abuse.
He couldn't.
Yeah, Zoom call Zach.
I think he tried to pull one of those things where he acted like his screen was frozen. And I'm like, yo, you got a monitor in your background, dumbass. We can see you're not frozen.
I would have liked that post-credit scene if they still weren't using that the skinny kid for Luthor. I think his whole BVS interpretation of Lex Luthor just was just weird. It was creepy, weird, strange, and it's like I can't see this guy as Lex Luthor. It just doesn't work.
Yeah, I have comments, but I'll save them for that topic.
Yeah, as long as they don't involve a Jolly Rancher, then we're in good shape.
Chuck Skill says, I keep waiting for Fatal J to start yelling, keep Snyder's name out of your effing mouth. Maybe he'll say it if he comes back. I don't know. I try to message him. I don't know. Maybe somebody cooler than us approached him about talking about something. I don't know. He just
Zack Snyder.
Zack
Snyder emailed him
on the line. If Zack Snyder is like DMing Fatal J, you know his career went to shit. You know what I mean?
Well,
he didn't go where he thought it was going.
Yeah, Army of the Dead wasn't that good, so I'm sure. Yeah.
There he is. There we go.
He returned.
All right.
No, something happened. I got the most bootleg of computers, so something weird happened. Can y'all hear me good?
Yeah, an Apple II.
Yeah, we're fine now.
Yeah. So anyway, let's talk more about how Snyder's terrible.
How about let's not?
We'll get to that part.
Yeah.
And this guy's been waiting for you to yell at us about keeping Snyder's name out your mouth. We got Calvin Sits here. Mandarin from Iron Man Armor Adventures is better.
He's not wrong.
I mean, let's be fair about that. The origins of the Mandarin as a character from the comics, super stereotypical. I mean, this is no way around that, and that was of the time, and that you get it. But there are ways you can make updates. You know, you can make changes, making adjustments where you could bring that into the modern world and be less insensitive. You know, if I hate to use that word, but that's the truth of the matter. The fact is, they just took it and they just went so far off into another corner that the character is unrecognizable, and everything that was positive about that character that you could use as an opponent to Iron Man and what he's trying to accomplish in the world was just basically discarded. And so you're building a villain from scratch and calling it Mandarin, and it's in name only. So yeah,
we needed.
It's no wonder they've been struggling to make it work.
That movie needed Fin Fang Foob.
Darth Bobcat says Zack Snyder can do good things. I agree. He would be a hell of a music video director, but he always screws it up. Snyder cut threw in Jared Leto. That last Joker scene killed my interest in any sequels to anything Snyder related.
It was a big fan movie. That's all it was. It was fan whatever. It was a fan film.
So not my fans.
Say fanfic.
Fanfare.
He's like the VIL of movies. He's a fanfic.
No, I'm just saying when you saw that ending, that was for the fans. That wasn't like to be cinematic special or trying to win an Oscar award. That was a long time coming for the fans. That
was a last ditch effort, grasping at whatever little hope he could to try to get his universe to continue, and it failed because even some of his fans were like, "That wasn't that good."
The voice of reason, Josh.
Why the fuck are we still talking about Zack Snyder? Jesus,
Because I'm
Christ.
here. Every
Good
time
day,
I'm
Jay.
here, it's time to bash Zack Snyder.
So
You guys-
Doc, I hate to disappoint you, but we have an entire topic coming up that's going
I
to involve
know.
Zack Snyder.
Kind
I
of.
know.
Common Sense, Ray Fisher tried to use Justice League at the Oscars to make Warner Brother apologize. And then Ezra Miller was on the news for his crimes recently.
What the
Got
freak
weird
is up
stuff.
with Ezra Miller, though? Is he trying to ruin his chance?
He is a crazy person that does crazy person things. The end.
Some people can't handle their booze. This guy apparently is one of them.
Yeah, but he's always been weird.
Yeah,
If
he's
you go back to like some of his earlier movie roles, like we need to talk about Kevin and some of the other roles that he's been in. He was always kind of weird. Straight. He would go like on press tours wearing like grandma Afghans and have curlers and all kinds of weird stuff. So I mean, WB seems to have a track record of just hiring strange people, and I don't know why they don't take that into account when they hire them.
He's the
I blame
dollar
Zack
store
Snyder.
Andy Kaufman.
Yeah.
I would say WB as well, because you got the freaking Harry Potter movies that he's a part of. It makes me think that was a Warner Brothers push.
Yeah. We got Ideator. How bad is Zack Snyder? He made a movie about scantily dressed women, zombies, dragons, Nazis, and ninjas boring. Don't get me started on Army. This is true. Sucker Punch was awful. It was
Yes.
Okay,
unwatchable.
now I definitely agree with you on that. I hate Sucker Punch with a vengeance. So that's the first time me and you ever agreed that Zack Snyder made a bad movie. Sucker Punch is horrible.
I watched that movie on mute.
No, but
Good idea.
but the truth of the matter is, Sucker Punch is exactly the same. Is exactly the right example that informs you everything you need to know about a Snyder film.
Thank you.
It's visually interesting.
Yeah.
He has a great cinematic eye for making scenes, color, composition, visuals, creative ideas. But the underlying writing and story and structure is completely gone. You might as well rename that Fetish the Movie. It's
I
like
definitely agree with
how
you.
many junior high boy fetishes can I cram into one movie and make sure the story doesn't make any sense?
It's like
The
Michael
movies-
Bay, but not as talented.
Right. The movies where he does the best, like 300 as an example, are where the movie essentially is already storyboarded and written out. Because all it is a shot-for-shot remake of Frank Miller's graphic novel. So when he doesn't have to think about the story and just makes it and just brings it visually to life, he does much better. When he has to create something original,
That's why Watchmen. That's why Watchmen was like it was. But I definitely agree. Zack Snyder visually is the best out there. I agree. He does need a good writer when it comes to his movies. I can say that.
He needs a good director too, because he's not a good director. He's just I'm
Great
serious.
cinematographer.
Exactly.
cinematographer.
He's a great cinematographer, but he sucks at writing and he sucks at directing.
And
I'm
for the
still
record,
with
I agree with his revision at the end of Watchmen.
that.
For the-
the squid.
Replacing
That
the
was going to be
squid,
too. it
I
didn't
actually
make
think that's
sense
a better
for
story choice.
Yeah.
Because
I
Alan
agree.
Moore ripped off an Outer Limits episode for his comic, and this makes more sense. It's much
But by the way, Sucker Punch is what happens when a 14-year-old boy watches Girl Interrupted and decides, I know how to make this movie better.
Get it, Alec. I'm with Josh. I could take a Wenwu prequel movie over Shang-Chi any day of the week.
That's right.
Are you right?
least a
Dick?
Disney
I know
Plus
you're
series.
just a screenwriter,
Yeah.
right?
Huh?
You're a screenwriter, right? Why don't you get on it?
I would write that in a heartbeat. Like if I had any clout to get that passed, hell yeah. I don't think you could get Tony Leung again though. I think he was a one and done. Thank you.
I think so,
Have a
too.
nice day.
Yeah.
Slam bam, thank you, man.
Kind of the way, same with, what's his name from that played Red Skull. That
Oh,
when he
yeah.
come back.
He
Yeah,
came back for the
No, he didn't.
Avengers movie.
No,
That
that's
wasn't
a different
him.
actor.
No.
It was a different actor.
So
He's leaving?
The
Yeah.
guy from The Walking Dead, the one guy, I forget what his
Yeah.
name is.
They did a
Hugo
good
Guy
job
with the
too,
hand, the
Wes.
guy with the missing hand.
Wes,
Hugo
they did a
Weaving-
good job because I thought that was him too. I thought
Yeah,
that was
no.
him too in
Yeah,
that
but
game.
it's full face makeup. You couldn't tell.
Yeah. And he did a good impersonation of the voice. Hugo Weaving actually signed a multiple film contract and then just like fought coming back extremely hard. Like he did not want to do it. So
Man, they need to bring back Abomination. I think that dude was perfectly fine for that character. We got
he's
What?
he's back.
He was in Shang-Chi.
And he's
I haven't
gonna
watched
be
that
in,
movie.
he's gonna be in She-Hulk as well. So
No, but I thought you were talking about the actor that played
Oh,
Abomination.
Tim
Timothy
Roth?
yeah, he's
Yeah, that-
he's He is back. He came back, and for Shang-Chi, he literally filmed grunts.
Oh,
And then
I'm about to say they didn't show his human form. They didn't show his human form.
No, but he will
doesn't go
be
back.
in She-Hulk. Like it's
But
already
you can get anybody to do
announced.
that. If it's just the voice, you can get anybody to do that.
Yeah, but they got
I didn't
him to
watch
do it, so-
Shang-Chi. I heard it was sucked.
Actually, I thought it was a fine popcorn flick. If you
Yeah.
go in with no expectations and just want to have like some mindless fun, it's fine.
Yeah, it didn't suck. It was mediocre though.
And as much as we bitch about the changes, some of the changes, like if you look at it from the film perspective of those series of films, they make sense. Like they do make sense. But
Darth Bobcat says, Fatal J, I appreciate you for being a good sport. It's a good
Hey,
thing
man.
someone appreciates you around here, Fatal J.
Darth Bob, thank you so much. I got thick skin, and I'm not talking about because I'm a fat slob either. I got thick skin, man. I know how to take a joke. Why get so
He's your
quiet
number
when I
one
say
fan. Why don't you say something to him? Like he
Darth Bob? Okay, so you trying to be funny and make Darth Bob not my number one fan, but if he is my number
he's
one
your number
fan,
one fan. You should send him a signed copy of Ninja Blast or something. This guy likes you. There aren't many
Ninja
of them
Blast
out
is
there. Fatal
all
J.
sold out, shipped, and fulfilled. I don't have no more. He'll have to wait till the Ninja Blast 2 campaign. Shameless plug.
Well, apparently, Aaron Sparrow didn't see Shang-Chi either. See, I wasn't the only one that didn't know Abomination was back.
hey, you gotta put Aaron's comment up because it's actually freaking hilarious.
What? You know who else didn't see Shang-Chi, Wes? America.
Yeah.
Oh, Aaron.
This is so mean.
It made,
he's got a
it made
point.
okay money. It made okay money, right?
I
think it did good.
Yeah, if you didn't have Spider-Man come out after that, I think we'd all be like, yeah, Shang-Chi did well during the pandemic. And then Spider-Man came out and it's like, yeah, okay, you can't say anything.
Mike Knight's got a point. He says, we got over 230 people watching live. You got 68 likes. Let's see if we can get this thing up to maybe near 100 by the time we're halfway through this thing.
Let's get it to
like
300
Like Aruskis, let everyone know that we're having a fun conversation. It's only going to get better once we stop talking about this comic.
And let's get it to 300, one of Zack Snyder's best movies.
Well, let's talk about some Zack Snyder. We've got Henry Cavill's Superman is going to be replaced by, I think her name is Sasha Calais, her Supergirl within the DCEU, at least a timeline of it, Fatal J. How exciting for you! Is this the final nail in the coffin of the Snyderverse?
This is
Will you
not
finally
freaking
stop talking
exciting.
about it now?
What the freak is you talking about? This is not exciting. This is a tragedy. Because you know what they're talking about now? They're talking about a new Trinity. And no, I kid you not. I've been doing research on it. This Sasha Calais woman, she's going to represent Superman. Wonder Woman, of course, is going to represent herself. And then you got Batgirl that's going to represent Bruce Wayne, Batman. That is what DC has coming up for us. This is going to suck.
At least it puts a nail in the coffin of the Snyderverse and we can move on from it.
What would make a better movie, Wes? A Superman, Flash, and Batman movie? Or a Supergirl, Flash, and old Batman Michael Keaton movie?
Who's directing it? Is it going to be Zack Snyder? Is it going to be the lady that did, Wonder Woman 84? Good stuff.
The woman from Wonder Woman 84 sucked too. What was her name?
Well, it wasn't as bad as Zack Snyder movies.
You mean to tell me Wonder Woman 84 was a better? You mean to tell me Wonder Woman 84 was better than the Snyder Cut?
Oh yeah, it's way shorter.
Did you really hate Zack Snyder? I thought you were joking with the hate, but you truly hate.
No. I truly think he's the worst director of our time. He's made one good movie, Dawn of the Dead, which was written by James Gunn. Otherwise, he made the Owl movie that looked great stupid.
Wait a minute, you think Dawn of the Dead
Owl movie was beautiful?
The
Guardians movie. Fine. You like the Guardians movie?
That thing was awful.
What? Josh, you like the Guardians movie with the owls in it?
I didn't watch it.
Oh.
He knew Zack Snyder was on it. He was like, why?
I partially, yes.
Exactly.
If you think Dawn of the Dead is a good movie, you and I are going to have words later. I'm just letting you know.
We can disagree on these things. What do you think about this?
Like Dawn of the Dead?
Yo, that is a disrespect to Romero and everything he stood for, and I was offended by that movie. You can just take it and put it in the hopper right now.
Did he just tell you to jump in a dryer and turn it on? Like he did. What do you think, Gabe, about them replacing Henry Cavill's Superman essentially permanently with the Supergirl character? Apparently, I believe Clark Kent Kal-El is going to die on Krypton, and she's going to be the last Kryptonian. This feels like it should be some type of parody thing coming out of The Onion or Babylon Bee, but it feels like it's probably correct with the way that they're kind of running DC Comics in movies and television right now.
I'm not an old man, but I'm getting close. But I'm at that point in my life where when I see stupid following stupid, I just stop caring.
Well, can I ask y'all this real quick? Not to cut you off, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to answer this real fast, and then I'm done. Push Zack Snyder to the side. What do you guys think of Henry Cavill as Superman? What do you think about that?
I think he looks the part. I think he has the right kind of air about him, the right kind of gravity about him. I think the writing material and the direction he was being given does not work for this character of Superman and the way Cavill could fit well in that role.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about Cavill.
100%.
It's about the material he's given and the direction he's given.
Yeah.
Neither one of those things have a clear, solid foundation for understanding the character of Superman. This is a statement I've made before, but I'm going to say it again for people in the back row. The problem with Man of Steel was not the casting of Henry Cavill. It was not the visuals. The problem with Man of Steel is the egregious misunderstanding of Jonathan Kent and the Kent family and their part in raising Superman to become the hero he was meant to be. Superman isn't Superman because he has superpowers. Superman is because he was raised to be a good human being.
Yeah.
The best of us. And then he uses those powers to personify the best moral compass of any character that exists in the DC universe. By making Jonathan Kent, in the form of Kevin Costner, this sort of weird, government-fearing, let the kids die, maybe, I don't know, kind of almost like 2 steps away from Branch Davidian Waco type of stuff, where he's like hiding from the government and the drones are watching us, and what if they take us, and don't do the right thing if it's going to protect my family. When you set that foundation, you set the wrong foundation for who Clark Kent is. When you set the wrong foundation for who Clark Kent is, you set the wrong foundation for who Superman becomes in that movie. People say Superman in that movie was dark and grim and depressing and he didn't know what he wanted. I would say that character was correctly developed for his foundation, starting with Jonathan Kent. You get John Kent wrong, Superman turns out wrong.
Yeah.
Few people really understand that, and unless they go back and fix that or come up with another version, you're never going to get the right Superman.
I
think he was cast well, but I think the story was garbage.
I will say this, even though Man of Steel is my favorite hero movie of all time, I will say this: no movie is perfect and without flaws. I agree. Jonathan Kent should have died. Like, just one of the instances, Jonathan Kent should have died with a heart attack instead of him telling Clark, "Don't save him," because the heart attack hits harder than him not saving him, because that's something that Clark couldn't save him from. You know what I mean?
They already did that in Superman 78. I feel like they wouldn't want to repeat that.
Superman 78 did so many things right. I mean, you can say the super effects are dated and maybe the settings a little dated and everything else. But when it comes to developing the character of Superman 78 got it right.
Absolutely.
And by trying to create a revised version of that, that's where they went wrong, because they thought, well, nobody's going to believe that. Nobody's going to believe somebody can be that wholesome. In that movie, Lois Lane makes fun of him for being like that because he understood that's who he was. And by trying to revise that, you screw it up.
Superman is the constant. The world changes around Superman. Superman stays where he is. That's what's great about him. That's what's great about Clark and him. Just like that's what I love about hearing Clark. Oh, everything's just swell. There's such a small amount of people in the world that use the word swell. That's what's funny about it. That's what's great about it. He doesn't change.
Yeah.
When you see comic writers, pros, creators, whoever they may be, editors, whoever saying, well, Superman's relatable and nobody is wholesome like that, and the world can't understand that, avoid that person. That person doesn't know what they're talking about. That person has given up on everything that's good and honest in this world. And that's the kind of person that has no business writing superhero stories, because they are mythology. They are mythology. And once you give up on the concept of good and right, then you have no business writing those comics.
Yeah. I got chill bumps when Gabe was talking, because I feel the same way. Like, I completely agree. And I think when you're looking at this film universe, I think the interesting thing is it's like Warner Brothers is taking away the wrong things. And they were in this situation where it's like, all right, the Snyder vision didn't work. We tried to correct it with Justice League. It didn't work. We gave Snyder, his cut release. It still didn't work to the way that we wanted it to. And then it's like, well, the bad thing is we have Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, which was a huge win. Like, you can say what you will about both films, but I think Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman is a good casting. And then you had Aquaman, which for the most part worked. So it's like they've got these two things that they're trying to hold on to. With that, well, not necessarily the movie. Just
Aquaman 2 it's not going to work like the first one though.
Jason Momoa, I'll say Jason Momoa is working as Aquaman on a general spectrum. Like, people are coming to him and taking him seriously rather than being like, oh, it's the guy that talks to fucking fish. So, like, look, they had success there. And it's like nothing else was working. And they didn't take the note of what Gabe was just talking about. Like, the problem isn't Henry Cavill with Superman. The problem is they just can't write Superman correctly. But instead of trying to take away these key notes and course correct properly, they're just like, well, these two work because they made money. The rest, just throw it away. And it's like,
It comes down to one word. Christopher Reeve summed up Superman beautifully. He's a friend. That's all he is. Superman is a friend. Just take that approach. That's all you got to do right there. And this Henry Cavill Superman doesn't come across as a friend at all.
Yeah.
What you guys think about Superman Returns?
Nah.
I mean, that's Superman though.
I like Routh. I like Routh in the role. Same thing. I like Routh in the role. The problem is basically they just rehashed Superman 78. It was Lex Luthor. It was a land grab. It was the whole it was the same major conflict just redone. So the plot itself was relatively pointless, and then you add in that whole subplot about Lois having a kid, added nothing to the story. It was supposed to kind of incorporate some kind of emotional conflict for Superman to deal with. Like, okay, now I'm not fighting for the planet. I'm also fighting for the mother of my child and my child. But at the end of it, it really didn't amount to anything. It didn't add anything to the story. So it was just basically filler. I like him for the role. And when he did the Crisis on Infinite Earths CW crossover, where he came back as the
Kingdom Come,
the Kingdom Come Superman, fantastic. I would watch that show. If they brought him back to do more of that, I would watch that show. He was great for the role, but the story was just, it didn't need to be. It didn't add anything. Bryan Singer said it was a love letter to Superman 78, but what he didn't say was it was a love letter because I'm just copying Superman 78 and just putting some twists on it.
Fatal J got you into the argument about Superman Returns.
Yes.
God. Why do you even bring that up? No one likes that Superman movie, Fatal J. Speaking of Fatal J, Kenneth says Fatal J is a good sport and can take a joke, unlike Jada Smith. I'm done. She was cackling, and she seemed to be pretty happy when Will Smith slapped him right in the face.
And I'm a hardcore Superman fan myself. I love Superman is probably my favorite hero. But if people don't want Superman Returns, if people don't want Man of Steel, what type of Superman do you want? What type of movie do you want?
That's
because I understand these are two polar opposite movies. So what type of Superman would you want? What type of movie?
Because we've had this conversation 4 times on the channel.
No, but listen,
Kenneth Dowling is speaking to you, and he's saying, unlike Jada Smith, you can take a joke.
And Kenneth is the man with deep pockets. He's the richest man on YouTube. I respect Kenneth, but I'm trying to wrap my head around this topic.
Gabe, because Josh and I talked about while Wes was gone. Just Superman at his core, he is a friend. He is a good, wholesome character who has had a strong foundation from Jonathan Kent.
But how do you make that appealing to the normies that's watching?
So it was already appealing to the normies.
Yeah,
Superman 78 captured that perfectly, and that was a monster hit. That you don't have to kind of, if you're asking what story do you do after that, Brainiac, pick a villain. I don't care. I would love to see Brainiac on the big screen.
Robert Venditti did it.
Dark. Yeah. Yes,
Robert Venditti did it with the Superman 78 series. That he nailed it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got a few more to get through. We got Kenneth Dowling, Gabriel Hernandez. I will read your Superman comic and watch your Superman movie, sir. I must have missed some like really uplifting stuff.
Oh, dude, it was good. I got chill bumps. Good.
Hopefully by the end of this, Fatal J understands who Superman is and that he's been He's been rooting on the weird Marvel knockoff of Superman that's not.
I'm a
him.
Superman fan, but I'm also an Elseworld Superman fan too. I like them all.
So you're not a real
Red
Superman fan.
Sure.
We got Dylan Lindsay. The Flash movie will be perfect opportunity to fix Superman and make him like the traditional hero. Why get rid of him? This is a mistake. I agree.
Yeah,
Henry Cavill was good casting. It was just bad execution.
Yeah.
What I don't understand is that Sasha Calais, the look of her costume and the hairdo and everything else, she's coming from the Injustice storyline, which is from the video game and the series from Tom Taylor. Yeah. How does that even work in this universe? Yeah. Because that's a completely different Superman. That is a completely different Batman. There's all kinds of bad stuff going on there. So how are you to expect to take a character from that universe, put them in here, and then expect it to work out?
And Gabriel, peep this. Why are you touching the multiverse when you don't even have the solo movies right?
You are.
Marvel already said it. Marvel already set up their solos.
You know? Well, I think, and this is what I was getting to earlier. I think this is Warner Brothers' way of having their cake and eating it too. They're trying to restart and trying to relaunch, but trying to hold on to what they feel worked. So that's why they're going this route. There are rumors that Cavill has been not so much difficult, but his agent has been difficult to deal with. Tough negotiations.
To be honest with you, I consider the Flash movie, it's the Dan Aykroyd Bastomatic 76, where they're tossing in everything into this damn blender just to see what comes out, and hopefully it's appealing.
We got Common Sense. He says Shazam 2, Black Adam, and Blue Beetle could be better movies than Flashpoint. I think DC is better off making just standalone movies like the recent Batman.
I'm looking forward to that Blue Beetle because the kid that's from the Cobra Kai show, he's supposed to be the Storm Roller. I'm interested to see how that's
all right. What's going on, Doc? Is everything okay?
Yeah, everything's fine.
Doc fights in the background.
Had dogs.
Doc, it sounds like you fight ninjas in your room.
Doc was Darth Vader there for a second, and then extremely loud.
Sorry, guys.
I'll tell you this: of all the modern iterations of DCU films, Shazam is probably one of my favorite.
I like it a lot.
Yeah. Because it's just simple, clean, fun. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Doesn't try to be anything else.
We got Rodney Sanders.
I was just gonna say they should just have Henry Cavill keep coming in and just showing up at the end of Shazam movies.
Or just below the neck.
Yep.
What I will say is if we are, because I think most of us would be willing to see Henry Cavill come back, and I don't think it's going to happen right now, but I do think there is a chance you could get him back. And what I will say is The Rock wants Henry Cavill, and The Rock has a shit ton of pull. So if Black Adam comes out and it does well and it's a success,
because I think The Rock's ex-wife is Henry Cavill's manager.
Correct.
So, yeah.
So we got Rodney Sanders. Love West, but I gotta know how many fights have you instigated? Furthermore, guy in the orange shirt is dropping bad facts of respect. All right, so here's the skinny Rodney Sanders. A second, I am a middle child. I have only brothers, so I've started a lot of fights. I'm a smart ass to the bone. You can see Jay and I are friends. I just like giving him crap all the time. Same thing with other people. So I definitely I like to instigate and have a little bit of fun as I mess around with people. It's my personality. It's what makes me me. We've got
he's like Lex Luthor and BVS. That's what you are. Yeah.
Carrie from Nerdy Girl Creates. I'm at the point where I feel Warner Brothers just keep sabotaging themselves. They don't have a game plan. They don't really have a game plan. And if you like comic book and manga YouTube, I think Carrie at Nerdy Girl Creates is going to have another live stream essentially right after this one. So you go, once you finish this stream here, you go have a little bite to eat. And I think her live stream starts at the top of the hour. Definitely go out there and support Carrie from Nerdy Girl Creates. She'll be back here as well. Love
if you like manga, Nerdy Girl Creates and I are maybe going to be doing something with One Piece pretty soon. So you can keep an eye out for that. We'll see. Maybe.
Absolutely.
I was
just gonna
screen. I looked at a screen, and the way that Wes said that, I'm like, wait, they don't have a gay plan? I thought you said gay plan, not game plan. I was really confused by that for a second.
Back to the game plan. I mean, she's right. I mean, Mikey Sutton scooped this. Like, they have no plan. They're just throwing spaghetti at the wall to see what sticks at this point.
Yeah, the
Agreed.
strange irony is that WB is following DC Comics.
Yeah. I do think that what Warner Brothers needs to do overall right now is take the path that they've taken with Joker and what they're doing with this Batman franchise that they're starting to build. Just do your capsule films, let time pass, and go. Like, give it a good 10 to 15 years, and then if you want to build a universe, have at it. But right now, take that artistic approach. Like, do more stuff. Like they've already mentioned, they want to do more villain-focused films. You can be artistic, you can be darker, you can get something that's different.
Josh, do you really want to see Keaton as the main Batman in this new universe that they start?
No.
Do I want to or do I not want to? I'll watch Michael Keaton in anything, but I don't want to watch this universe.
I don't want to see Michael Keaton as Batman.
No, I said the Batman. The Batman that just came out. The Batman.
Oh, got you.
Here's an easy one right here. You want to do more villain-focused stuff. HBO Max, the streaming series. Do a 4-part or 6-part miniseries with Deathstroke. It would be cheap.
Fantastic.
It would be easy.
And they had a good
and then you
actor
set
for
him up as a villain for other characters.
We got Ideator. Superman 78 and Captain America were perfect examples how to make Boy Scouts admirable. Gabe, excellent assessment. Story moves visuals. Yes.
When y'all say Superman 78, y'all talking about the with the throwback, like the Batman 88?
Yes.
I need to read
both.
Yeah. You should.
There's a YouTube channel called High Top Films, and he did a breakdown of why Captain America Winter Soldier worked and why Man of Steel didn't work. It's really great. It's like a 20-minute video. I recommend watching it, but it plays so much into what Gabe talked about. And he talks about just minor changes you could have made in Man of Steel that would have made that whole series better. So worth your time.
Because they made a great Hyperion movie and not a very good Superman movie.
Very true. We got Dill Lindsay. I recommend watching Superman Returns again. It grew on me.
Yeah.
Too boring.
I took my nephews to that, and I just remember halfway through, I was like, these guys are never going to like Superman. This is so boring. There's a good moment when he shoots that like 50 cal into his eyeball. I was like, man, that was really good. Then I was like, okay, nothing else is going to happen.
I thought you were going to suggest keeping it on Lois Lane or her family at the house, just seeing what she's doing.
I mean, Ralph was just a good pick. Ralph was a good pick for that role. He just needed better.
He was a good pick, though. Yeah. The airplane scene was the only best thing about that movie to me.
Yeah. Once I got to the end and I found out that Lex Luthor was going to make Krypton like its own continent and then sell it for real estate.
Yeah.
But you can't grow anything there, and no one would ever want to build a house on Kryptonite. I was like, yeah, they lost the plot on this one. Your friendly neighborhood baker would help if Superman had a good Lois Lane. All lanes after Terry Hatcher are forgettable. Man of Steel needs love interest that isn't boring.
I don't know. The one that's playing Lois on the Superman and Lois isn't bad.
Bitsy Tulloch.
I like her. Yeah, I like her.
Hey, that's actually a good show.
Yeah, it is.
And she came from another good show. It was called Grimm. If anybody ever saw that, it was on NBC. I kind of enjoyed that show. It was interesting.
Used to watch that one here in the Philippines. We got Kenneth Dowling. Superman and Lois is pretty popular. Or Superman and Lois is pretty popular. It looks like they're adding elements from the classic comics and good elements from Man of Steel. Mm-hmm. Everyone talks about the TV show like it's really good. But you know what's going to happen, Josh, right? You get 2 seasons of a good show on CW, and then they ruin whatever it is.
Yeah, that's true.
Look, you get like 2.5. All right, come on.
That first episode, what the scene that had me was when he saved the kid from the car and he's like, yeah, my mom made the costume. Like, perfect, right there. That is Superman.
Yeah.
That one, and there was another scene when his mother had the heart attack or the stroke or whatever it is that killed her in that first episode, and he just took off, cape, no costume, nothing, and he did a wide shot, like way back on the field, and all you do is just see him come down and just like run across that encapsulates everything where you can see the untainted, unfettered, unaffected love that he has for his mother and his family and the home that brought him up and took care of him for so many years. And that moment right there said everything you needed to know about that character.
Very nice. We got Federico de la Casa. problem about heroism is people do not get what heroism is all about. I think that it's a generational problem about sacrifice and heroism. That's the way new writers don't get it. They think a cape makes them the hero. That is definitely a problem there, Drew. I don't think people understand the reason Superman is a hero. It isn't because he can fly and he's invulnerable. It's because of his values and his principles and his ability to think about people other than himself and put them kind of before himself. And it doesn't really come through in the stories today.
Yeah, and I really think this comes down to the creatives, just having a very self-centered approach to storytelling in themselves and society as a whole. I think just they weren't raised. I hate to say it, they just weren't raised with those principles, those virtues, and it's coming through in the writing, especially on the Marvel books. And it's like, you guys really don't get this at all, do you?
Can you guys hear
DC has the same problem if you've been reading anything with Jackson Hyde in it for the past year. I don't know what's up with Brandon Thomas, but he
torturing somebody isn't a good way to be a hero. Can you guys hear the rain that's coming down here because it's getting loud?
A little bit, yeah. It sounds like a fan or just like a white noise machine in the background.
Yeah, but it's light.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Want to make sure it's not
that
too
might,
much.
that might be my fan. I got a fan going in the background too.
Okay.
Simu
Comics, greetings to West of the panel from WonderCon 2022. Spoke with Chris and MVP, no relation. Good times here. Would love to come on the show to catch up soon, guys. H.H. German, Heck's our marketing guy. My bad. I get you guys confused. I thought Heck might have been your nickname or something. So definitely love the guys from Sigma Comics. Go give them a shout out if you're at WonderCon 2022. Go check those guys out. We'll definitely try to get HH right here on the Comics Aficionados soon. That would be a fun conversation. Maybe he could he could show us all how to do an omoplata. You know what I mean? Dude was like an MMA fighter back in the day. He's also an accomplished boxer.
Whoa.
Absolutely. So if you want to go check those guys out, they're going to be on the con scene on this con circuit for quite a while. I think I have an email I need to respond to them on about as well. So definitely go support those guys. Great dudes. We got Jasper playing night. Is there going to be a Dallas Fan Expo meetup in the works?
I know a few of us are talking about meeting up. So
yeah, I'm planning on going. I'll be down there.
Yeah,
well, let me know.
Yeah, so Perch will be there and Joe's supposed to be there as well. So we're going to try to plan something. I had a little bit of a monkey wrench thrown in with my day job. So I won't be there for the entire weekend, but I'm going to try to make sure I'm there for at least Friday and most likely Sunday.
I won't be there.
Nobody's talked to me about it. This is all news to me, but I am in another country. So maybe they thought I wasn't available.
To be fair, it started on like with the last stream with Perch. Like it was brought up. So
I don't remember that part, but that would be fun. I got family in Dallas, so I can be in the area sometime, but got to get through the birthdays. Real expensive. Monster Mania. Superman 2 was the best superhero film ever made. Battling Lex Luthor just does not make for an action-packed film. I love Superman 2. That was like that is a good memory as a kid.
I love watching the Donner cut. That's just me.
What's the best thing about Superman 2, Gabe, in your opinion?
Oh, clearly the cellophane S.
Oh, this is a great moment. I just love Stamp and Zod.
No, I love that
like
movie.
kind of skinny and stuff, but he comes through.
You talking
like,
about when he took the S off?
Yeah, when he took.
Yeah.
So, in all seriousness, I love that movie, and Terrence Stamp as General Zod chews it up in every scene he's in.
That's part.
Yeah, he does.
You cannot underestimate the importance of an actor just giving it 150% in a role. That will elevate a bad movie and at least get you some kind of fan or just some sort of good feeling about that. Terrence Stamp eats it up, and he just makes that movie everything that it is and then some. So when you put Terrence Stamp with Christopher Reeves as Superman, that's a perfect match right there.
The kneel before Zod, and then he grabs his hand, and he realizes he's powered back up. Oh, it's good.
You want to step outside? I mean, just like it just gets it right there.
Yeah. Or in the White House when the president said, oh God. He's like, no, Zod.
Fantastic stuff. We got Ideator. To quote Doc from last year, we've got to start putting needles back in the locker. Nerds back in the locker. Pop culture.
Nerds.
Oh, we want to beat up nerds again. Okay.
Yes.
Pop culture is suffering because it's too cool.
I'm about to say, why they putting needles in the locker? They on drugs.
Well, Chris Rock, a few years ago, Chris Rock was doing a stand-up bit about bullies. He said, the world does need bullies. People do need bullies. You know, it does help make people be stronger and better. You know, I hate to say it, but it's true to a degree.
Yeah, just read Sensational Wonder Woman #1.
Oh gosh,
It's
a bad movie.
No.
Yes, we really, really, really need to start shoving nerds back in lockers. It'll make the world so much better.
You know,
I was
Gabe,
going to have you read Sensational Wonder Woman #1, Doc, but I decided to spare you.
Gabe, I knew I forgot to do something for today's stream, and it was wear my Wonder Woman outfit.
See, but the funny thing is, Wes picked on the first couple of pages. It's the last couple of pages in that story that kind of went like, wow, that's about as subtle as a sledgehammer to the face.
That's just making a point, but yeah, that DC's got problems, that's for certain. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. I think are we done with this, or do you want to talk about Superman Returns some more, Fatal Jason? Do you bring it up every single time?
Done with Sasha Kane and Supergirl.
Let me add, just give her a chance.
Yeah,
I'm not one of these people that say that just forget it. I mean, I'm kind of like over WB with hype and excitement, but give it a chance. It may turn out. You know.
Okay, I'm not talking about the actress. She might do an excellent job, but replacing Superman, that's the problem. That's the problem.
Jay's right. The problem isn't the actor or the actress. It's the fact that nobody gives a shit about Supergirl. You can't make the general population accept Supergirl over Superman. It will always be a step down.
Well, and think about the merchandising sales too, or lack thereof, that could happen with lack of Henry Cavill statues, shirts being made in favor of the Supergirl. That's gonna end up costing them too.
Sure, just ask Todd McFarlane.
Yeah, what I will say, and just take this for what you will. If your goal is that you want to see specifically Henry Cavill as Superman again, or even Superman in general soon, this is probably going to need to do well.
Listen, I want to see Nick Cage as Superman. That's what
no. There's rumors. There are rumors.
I'll take Nick Cage as Ghost Rider.
Yeah,
Nick Cage is gonna have the most dope ass Superman of all times, but fucking Zack Snyder ruined that. Dylan Lindsay asked for villain focus shows. I want one based off of Jeff Johns' take on Orm. He really elevated the character and made him compelling. There's a problem. The guy that they actually cast as Orm in the Aquaman movies is the most uncharismatic actor in the history of the world and couldn't carry anything.
Also,
I like Patrick Wilson. I think
boring
he's
as hell.
Boring.
He's great in Hard Candy. He's great as Night Owl.
I think he can come across too wholesome.
He's literally generic white man number 4.
Hey, look, he has done excellent work. And
watch Hard Candy. Watch him in Hard Candy with Ellen Page.
Hard Candy is good. Right. And then I don't expect anyone on this panel to watch it, but the miniseries Angels in America, he's excellent.
It comes back down. All actors, all characters, everything comes down to an it factor that makes it doesn't matter how, yes, you have to have a good performance, but you have to make something about you stand out. Patrick Wilson does not stand out in any way, shape, or form.
He's got no stage presence.
And the name Orm, Jesus Christ, can you get
Ocean Master's the villain name?
I understand that, but Ocean Master's a bland name. Let's be honest. It is a bland fucking
You
name.
like a character named Storm.
I like a character named Storm.
So do I. The bland names work.
Sometimes there's
for once I got to agree with Doc. I mean, I like Patrick Stewart, not Patrick Stewart, Patrick Wilson.
Patrick Stewart.
Yeah, I'm sorry, wrong one, wrong Patrick. But in every movie he was in, where they were great movies, Hard Candy was great, but it's Ellen, or not Ellen anymore. Something Page now. She at the time she was the star of that movie. If you look at him in The Conjuring. All the Conjuring movies. I love horror, so I'm right there with James Wan. Yeah, but it's Vera Farmiga. He always seems to take second fiddle to a bigger, better star in that movie. That's not to say he's bad. That's not to say he doesn't do a good job. He does, but there's nothing about him that pushes him to the front, that makes him outshine anybody around him, and it's okay. I mean, if anything else, the Aquaman films. My biggest beef with that is, I mean, I like Jason Momoa. He's not Aquaman.
Yeah,
to me,
agreed.
he's Lobo. He acts like Lobo.
100%.
Heck
He looks like
yeah.
Lobo. He talks like Lobo.
Heck yeah.
So every time I see him, I'm like, that's not Aquaman. That's Aqua Lobo. So I don't know why. Again, it's the casting.
Aqua, bro.
WB forces this weird casting that doesn't make any sense.
But Gabriel, you think the reason why they did that is because they didn't want the clean cut Aquaman? They wanted something more.
I think WB just didn't know how to do Aquaman.
Yeah,
But so they were just looking for the attraction factor.
Yeah, no, I do think that was heavily a Snyder choice, though, as far as Aquaman goes. And
Yeah.
I do get what they were going for. They were going for that Pacific Islander type thing. Like, how can we make this somewhat realistic? I get it, but personality-wise, I'm 100% in agreement with Gabe. He would have been a way better Lobo.
They also really, really did not want blonde-haired, blue-eyed Aquaman.
Yeah.
That's what it came down to, and they wanted to get as far away from that as possible.
Right, but put the physicality of it aside. You know how he looks. You know, whether it's blonde or dark hair or whatever else. Aquaman at his most interesting is like Namor, maybe with a little less arrogance, but he's very staunchly protective of Atlantis. He's very staunchly protective of his oceans, and when he sees drylanders coming in to do whatever, you know, they're sinking oil ships or they're putting up subs and bases and everything else, he comes very close to eco-terrorist. So he's like very protective of his territory. He's very protective of his kingdom. And by that, just kind of making him sort of like this Lobo dude bro. Hey, let's go get a beer. You know, that completely takes away any of the interest because he never really feels like he's part of Atlantis. Aquaman at his best is fiercely protective of Atlantis. Is fiercely protective of his oceans. And when you take that away and just sort of make it this thing I do on the side, you lose all of the interest of what makes conflict possible and then dries up the dramatic possibilities.
In fairness, though, the first movie was about him coming to grips with even being Atlantean.
Yeah.
And
is that
having
interesting?
A place.
Is that interesting? I mean, it's been done 1,000 times before. Is that really that interesting?
I get that, but I mean, I guess you'll see in the second movie.
We do have Federico
when they
de
get
la
around to
Casa. You guys are right. I thought bullies back then, being a nerd, even in Italy, it wasn't cool. It forced me to be better and face problems and grow up.
Boom.
Absolutely.
Yep. We need bullies and we need nerds shoved in lockers.
And we need less helicopter parents. Let your kids scrape their knee.
Yes.
How they're going to learn not to jump off the high thing.
Hey, real quick, that guy that y'all was talking about that played Ocean Master, I always thought he would make a dope Cyclops in the X-Men movie.
He would
Cyclops
probably
is a really boring character, so it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, the same way that James Marsden did. He was just as fucking boring.
It kind of makes sense.
James Marsden and Patrick Wilson. Have you ever seen them in the same fucking place? No, they're the same guy. They're like Cullen Bunn and Jerry Duggan. They're the exact
Cullen Bunn
same
is one of the
person.
best comics of his life right now, man. You have no idea.
I mean, Cyclops is kind of a boring character. I mean, let's be honest.
Especially when you put him next to Wolverine, he's always going to be like.
That's the nature of his character. He's the boring leader. He's a strategist. He's
just like Leonardo of the Ninja Turtles. He's a boring leader.
Yeah,
Leonardo is not anybody's favorite turtle.
Yeah, but turtles are not boring. What's wrong with
Leonardo is actually the boring turtle, though.
Turtles are never boring. You can't be boring and be a turtle.
Yeah,
Leonardo has to battle wits with Raphael always wanting to leave his brothers and Michelangelo eating too much pizza and getting gas.
Everybody know Raphael and Michelangelo is the most popular turtle.
Raphael's the best one. Yes, you are correct.
Yes.
Goblin says villains restore Justice League God and monsters.
Okay.
Sure.
Maybe.
I'm down with it.
Sure.
I'm down too.
I mean, given the current state of WB and DC, sure, whatever. Just throw it on the wall. It almost doesn't matter at this point. Yeah.
Jason Momoa was needed to make people take Aquaman seriously, but he's not a good Arthur. Also, I'm also with Josh. I like Patrick Wilson.
So the Jason Momoa comment is pretty much what I was saying earlier. Was like he worked for what they needed him to do, and that's probably why they picked him. I completely understand, but yes, not a good Arthur. And yeah, like watch more Patrick Wilson stuff. He's actually got some range. He's good.
Hey, listen, I like watching paint dry, so I'll give it a shot.
He's a good actor. The problem is he will never be a name actor because literally he is generic white guy number 4. nothing about him sticks out.
Most of my favorite actors aren't name actors, so I'll just say
it's
that.
because you're a movie. Like, what do they call
for
you?
a movie
Bougie?
buff?
You're a snob.
Sure. Yes,
for a movie, for like a hardcore movie buff, that's fine. I'm talking about being bankable. Patrick Wilson, no matter what he ever does, can never be a bankable star.
We got Jasper playing 9. The genre is dead. Who's enjoying Pam and Tommy? I'm assuming this is some type of show about Pam Anderson and Tommy.
Yeah, it
was good.
Yeah, it's got Winter Soldier in it, and he shows his dick.
How was
Yeah,
Pamela?
you get to see Sebastian Stan's dong.
How is
right.
Pamela Anderson looking these days?
She looks like she had a lot of plastic surgery.
Oh,
Your friendly neighborhood banker Momoa looks exactly like Namor, stolen from Marvel.
No, Gabriel got it right. He is the pure embodiment of Lobo.
Mhm.
Like that. I hope they can somehow cast him as Lobo in the future.
Hold on. I'm getting the point that the comment makes here. He's got the brow line and the eyes and like the especially the eyebrows that really work for Namor. If they gave him the haircut and a shave, he would be perfect as Namor.
If you're going to do some fan casting for Namor, the actor you should be looking at is Daniel Day Kim.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
if you're gonna do it now, yes, exactly. But if it was between, if it's Jason Momoa for Namor or for Aquaman, if he's gonna be a water hero, he give him a haircut and a shave, and he's almost a spitting image of Namor.
Who playing Namor in Black Panther 2? Because
We don't
he's
know.
supposed to be in that movie.
I don't know.
He's been. It hasn't officially been announced, but he's been cast already.
All right, we got Kenneth Dowling here. Yes, Josh, Patrick Wilson was great in Angels in America. He is a bland American apple pie type, but he is a good actor.
Josh, I remember that show. It used to be a TV series back in the day on HBO.
Yeah, it was like a six episode miniseries type thing.
And this dude, he was like real sick, and the angel literally came in his room.
Yeah, but that was not Patrick Wilson. Patrick Wilson was playing a Mormon.
That show was, I've seen it as a little kid. That's an old show.
Yes,
Sure.
it's an old show.
Yeah,
Because I used to sneak and watch HBO, like late night HBO.
Yeah, Taxi Cab Confessions, right?
Bro, Taxi Cab Confessions was the best.
Real sex.
Yeah. I wasn't supposed to watch that when I was a kid, man.
Neither was I.
No shit.
We didn't even have HBO when we still watched it, Fatal J. You know how you do it back in the day?
How you do that?
You climb up the pole with the box and then you turn it on.
Okay. Yeah, because I had the cable box. Remember the cable boxes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't have that in my little town. So you had to climb the kind of thing and you illegally turn it on. And then a month and a half later, they figured out what happened.
Bro, it was a Taxi Cab Confessions. Real quick. It was a Taxi Cab Confessions where a lady admitted to a murder. And I always wondered what happened to her. Did they arrest her? She killed the homeless guy.
I don't know. I bet if you Google it, that actually comes up. Bill Lindsay says Cyclops is the best X-Men. Fight me.
No, he is not.
He is the best strategist actually in the Marvel universe. He's better than Captain America.
I wouldn't even call him the best leader because that goes to Professor X.
Fuck
Professor
no.
X has screwed over every X-Men multiple times.
No, fuck here. He is boned he ditched his entire school to go bang a half bird alien for like 5 years. No, it was like 10 years in the comics.
Cyclops is Superman without powers. The only power he has for Superman is X-ray vision. Yeah, exactly.
He doesn't have X-ray vision. What the fuck are you talking about?
I mean, not X-ray vision, heat ray vision.
There's no heat. It is kinetic force.
Yeah, you got it all.
It's a push. It's a push blast. It's not.
Gambit is the best X-Man. Gambit. Period.
I'm not disagreeing.
Right.
I'm telling you he's not.
I think we can all agree there's been no best X-Men in the last 10 years. So why don't we just?
I agree.
Yeah.
There you go. Thank you very much to everyone for supporting the channel. Let's get into this next topic. Maybe we'll get in through two more We've got Ben Reilly is a new Spider-Man villain. I put villain twice. I do not know why. Doc, you are an enormous Marvel Comics fan. What do you think of Ben Reilly as Chasm? Feels a little bit too much like Venom, Venom. Eddie Brock with his motivation and his origin story kind of feels a little bit too much like Joker, but I think the character looks really good.
I mean, it's another Spider-Man versus a Spider person. He's already got Venom. He's got Carnage. He's got anti-Venom. He's got Toxin. He's got all the Spider women and the other it's too fucking spidery. Stop it. Have a little bit of variation. I mean, yes, we're tired of seeing the Sinister Six. And we're especially tired of seeing fucking Norman and Doc
I'm
Ock.
excited for a Sinister Adaptoid, man.
Yeah, the Sinister Voltron. Yeah, no. But look, I don't hate this design. The problem is it's all it is they went back to Ben Reilly, Peter Parker's evil twin. That's all this is. Peter Parker's evil twin that blames him for choices he made himself that Peter, because he can't remember shit now. That's it. He's Peter Parker
What
with
do you
a
think,
busted memory.
Drew? You're a comic book retailer. You work at a shop. Were people excited about this new character?
I think so. Yeah, I think it's still pretty well. As soon as they showed Ernie the page, I'm like, hey, you got a key here. You and your prospector group. Yeah, you might want to invest in this book. And I think it did very well because that was going to be another topic. I call them prospectors. Yeah, I think there's a big market for that in this book, and it did well in the store. I do know that. And
it definitely did well.
Yeah. I think, I really think if the story is told well, there could be he could hopefully wind up redeeming himself in the future and maybe becoming the Scarlet Spider again. That's what I want to see, him redeeming himself. But we'll see what happens. It was all right.
What do you think, Gabe? Was this worth all the time in the Beyond era? It took 19 issues to get to this big moment. Uh-oh, he's counting.
Okay. No, so what I would say is, was it worth everything that they had to do in the Beyond era to get to that point? No, there was just way too much fluff and back and forth. It was Kelly Thompson's jokes, and I'm so over the Shark and Jeff the Shark and all that. I could be done with all that. I will say that if you're going to develop a new villain for Spider-Man, this is one of the better ways to do it. Just take somebody old and give them a reason to turn over, rather than just trying to just generate somebody out of the blue from scratch. So that, I mean, at least that part works well. I'm not sure if Ben Reilly was the best choice for that. There might have been more creative ways to do it, and a lot of it sounds like rehashing. Yeah, this sounds like Venom all over again, just a different form of Venom. So it is. If you're going to do it, this is probably the best you could hope for. The journey to get there was just way too long, overstuffed, convoluted, didn't really need to be. And I think there are better uses for Ben Reilly. But if you're going to use him to kind of keep him present rather than just putting him on the shelf and just out of the way that you can't do anything with, if you're going to keep him in the view of Spider-Man's world of whatever's going on, this is probably one of the better ways to do it. It's okay. It just doesn't knock me over. That's all.
Are you saying exploring the room with sandwiches at Beyond Corp wasn't worth it?
Look,
sandwiches that
I don't know
I
don't know whose idea it was to come up with sentient sandwiches, and I don't even know why I'm saying that phrase out loud. But
you could always tell the Kelly Thompson issues and the Salad Man issues and the Cody Ziegler issues from the Zeb Wells issues. You never had to look at the credits page. You knew exactly which writer was writing that week, and it was like, oh, I'm gonna hate this, aren't I?
Look, quirky humor has its place. There's always a place for that, but you have to be tonally consistent.
Yes.
Every time those weird kind of jokes out of nowhere came up, it was almost always at the exact wrong time for that story. You're doing this big build-up, you're trying to get this dramatic punch and all these forces that are come together, and then just start stuffing in these silly billy robot chicken type jokes, and it just completely kills all the dramatic tension of the moment. You got to get some tonal consistency, and that's unavoidable when you have a book where you have a team of writers trying to write it. They're writing it. Everybody's all over the place. It just doesn't make any sense that they would do that, and the results show.
What do you think of Fatal J? You're a big Spider-Man head.
Yeah, I always loved the Ben Reilly character. I think this would be pretty cool for him to be a villain. But I always wanted this, because I'm kind of iffy on Ben Reilly's origin. Is he a clone of Peter Parker?
Yes.
Is he a clone?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
yeah,
he was cloned by the Jackal.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I always liked Ben Reilly. I always thought he was a dope character.
Here's the thing. There. While this is interesting, okay, he really is just not as jacked like green and purple Venom.
Mm-hmm.
He's using that like psychoactive goo in place of a symbiote. He's thinks that Peter stole his life. He's Venom mixed with like all he needs is a goatee to be the like a mirror version of Spider-Man. And it'd be one thing if this wasn't the 57th fucking time they've done that in the last 20 years.
But they did take one extra Spider-Man off the board.
Yeah, but they just made him another spider-themed villain. There's already a bunch of those in Spider-Man's orbit. And if they would have gone with something that's not even remotely spider-themed, I mean, I don't know how you go from Ben Reilly to not spider-themed, but still.
He's an elephant-themed villain.
Doc, you want to know something very interesting that I just learned recently? Okay, you mentioned the green
Ben Reilly's a clone of Peter Parker?
Look, I just told you I was iffy on that. Like I wasn't sure of his origin story. Because I kind of got confused when Doc Ock put himself inside Peter Parker's body. I got confused with all that origin.
This was all the way back in like single or like double digits ASM.
Yeah, I'm kind of iffy on that, but that's not the point. Doc, I found out something interesting with Venom. You know why he does that green goo out of his mouth? Recently, they just found out that was how he boo-boo.
Oh, it's not acid reflux? Okay.
All right.
No, it's how the Venom suit boo-boos. So he boo-boos out of his mouth.
The symbiote doesn't have a butthole. Great.
So he poops through Eddie Brock's mouth?
He poops out of Eddie Brock's mouth with the green goo. Look it up if you think I'm lying.
I don't need to look that up because that's going to lead me to some fucking Rule 43 shit that I really don't want any parts of. But look, yes, it's good. I like the fact that they're not taking Ben off the board again. I like the fact that he's not just another Spider-Man. But it just feels overdone. I feel like like all their previous mistakes have made this a little disappointing.
We do have Lane Kramer. He wants to know Immortal X-Men, #1, thumbs up or thumbs down. Doc and I are reviewing this right here on the channel tomorrow. What did you think, Gabe? Giving a thumbs up or a thumbs down?
There was a lot of X-Men issues. Is that the one where they go up with AIM? Is that the one?
No, this is the one where
Sister.
Oh, the Sister one.
Council.
It was okay. The more I read it, the more I realized that issue, if you're trying to pick up a comic saying X-Men, I want to get into X-Men, that issue is incredibly impenetrable. Yeah. There is so much soap opera back and forth in this one. I'm predicting for that one. It's a very Mr. Sinister centric comic, and he's kind of like a not goofy, but he's like a jokey type of villain where he jokes to himself and he thinks he's hilarious in his own head. And if you're kind of into that kind of tone of a comic, you might enjoy it. And it's basically a lot of political shenanigans because somebody resigns from the Quiet Council and the whole thing is about, okay, who do we replace him with? So it's like you're getting
the thumbs up or you give it a thumbs down?
I would give it a thumbs in the middle, like with a little bit. It was okay. I mean, and this is Kieran Gillen's writing. He likes to get really complex and intricate and do all these back and forth things. But I mean, if it is an exciting issue, no. The art is great. I like the art a lot. It was fantastic art. It was just middle of the road. It didn't turn me off, and it didn't excite me either way.
You'll get more specifics tomorrow when Doc and I talk about it on This Week in X-Men. We got Common Sense. Cyclops is best, which is more faithful and accurate in the comic book about being a hero and leader in the 90s cartoons. X-Men or X-Men Evolution. I prefer Evolution.
Never watched Evolution.
I was just rewatching the 90s X-Men cartoon not too long ago, and I love it, and I think he's great in it, and that's my perspective.
I will say Evolution is actually a solid cartoon. You just have to get through that first season.
All right, there you go. We got Kenneth Dowling. So you brought him back just to turn him into a villain. Whatever. That was... I'm with you, man.
the path to him becoming a villain was interesting. Yes, it was convoluted. It was sideways. There was a lot of extraneous twists and turns. But I think in order to make it was significantly better than when they brought him back as the Jackal during Dan Slott's clone conspiracy.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And he just decided to be a villain out of nowhere. So this, at least they had to go through a path to turn him into a villain, and I guess it worked. So it wasn't that bad. I didn't mind the Beyond era, except for the bad writing.
Common Sense. Chasm should team up with Ultimatum Miles of 616. Is that something you want to see, Drew?
Honestly, for me, I just want to see Miles take a turn as a character. I wouldn't mind seeing Miles turn into a villain or something like that, just make him more interesting.
Never.
I'm not gonna lie, the series is bland as hell. It's just if they made Miles the villain of this, like it was Miles taking.
Miles should be Chasm.
Yeah, there we go. Boom! I'm sold
with
on
his
that.
2 clones that are deformed.
Why not?
Neostar Production says, "I'm telling you guys, Arachnids versus Lupini. Let all the derivative Spider-Man and Wolverine clones just go at it for 6 issues and call the herd."
I am
standing.
Yeah,
I am good with this. Or just put them all in a. I'm still in favor of just sending them all for a one-way trip vacation to the surface of the sun.
Well, you got to do a 6-issue series, get all money out of it. If you're going to kill
they could fight. They could fight on the spaceship, and then we all get happy when it's done, because then they all die, and it's great.
We got a lot of derivatives right now. We got Dill Lindsay. Marvel, you either die a hero or become a villain.
That's true.
It's becoming very true. We got Robert into Hood. My biggest issue with Beyond is they are very clearly writing for the omnibus. It made even more obvious by the BEY issues.
The Charlie's Angels sub issues. Yeah, not a fan of those.
Pacing in comics is just bad right now, Gabe. Like, it's really bad.
Read manga.
Well, I mean, manga is not short by any stretch, depending on what you're talking. I mean, you talking about in a per issue basis or just an overall story?
Just the way that they're pacing stories a lot of times is they are padding them out. They're no longer writing for trades. They are writing for the omnibus a lot of times.
If
I think I said this last time I was on. I'm a huge fan of the 777 model. The first 7 is you setting up the character, you're getting them introduced, you're bringing new readers on board, but you're also giving a little bit of somebody who's been hanging on. The middle 7 sets up the plot. What's the villain up to? Who are their relationships? Any kind of an emotional foundations for the relationships you want to build up. And then the last 7 is the conflict, at least for that chapter of a story. They don't do that anymore. You get comics where the entire issue is a single scene. And that single scene is a conversation over dinner. You know, it's like that.
It's almost what Immortal X-Men is.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you see people that they say that they're writing for the trades, I absolutely believe that. I see that over and over again where people are just stretching this stuff out. That's way too long. There's so much that you could just cut out and they're just not doing it. Every issue has to matter. And when you have side issues that are a single scene that you can edit down to a page or 2, or you have all these little side trips where nothing happens, that Oh, I know you know you don't like it. I'm going to bring up Ron V again. The latest issue, the issue that just came out of Swamp Thing, was actually in my mind one of the best issues in the series, because he got to the point. He said, "This is what we're going to do," and things happened. He wasn't stretching it out with these long soliloquies about esoteric conversations about the nature of life and nature and what is the green and everything else. And then when he puts out these tweets that say, well, I would love to write a story that's 100 issues long because I can just live and I can breathe in this world. And like, you understand that people are paying cover price for this, right? It shouldn't take me $50 to figure out the name of the villain. $50 worth of issues to figure out the name of the villain. When I hear writers and creators kind of get onto these wild, decompressed story arcs, what that tells me is they're not respecting the people who buy the comic.
Yep.
Because you're not respecting my time, you're not respecting my money. I have $4 or $5 or whatever it is, and I've got 20 minutes to read a comic that's going to take me away from the stresses of the world, and it's going to entertain me for that very brief period of time. And if if I pay $4 or $5 or $6 or $7 for that 20 minutes, and you give me a single scene that's a conversation over two people eating dinner, that tells me that you don't care about my money, that you don't care about my time, and you think that what you have to write is more important than the fact that I want to read it. That is automatically a red flag for any creator when I see stuff like that.
I have written that exact mindset or concept, whatever you want to call it. I've written about that so many times. So completely agree.
That's why I said read. That's why I said read manga, because these guys' lives depend on you liking their stuff, man. They don't make that much money making these comics.
Yeah, but also when you're getting Shonen Jump, if you're doing the app, it's only $2 a month, and you're getting everything.
Yeah.
So you're getting more than your money's worth.
Yeah, I've taken it from the aspect of like there are comics nowadays where you're paying the same amount of money for one comic as you get for a monthly subscription to a streaming service. Like, think about that. Quality and content there.
The the Beyond era, I think that if they would have taken it and kind of, if you had all of those issues right now and you kind of remixed them, you could have had and not slapped the Beyond logo on the cover every issue. It would have felt more like an organic transformation instead of making it an era of comics, like an era of Spider-Man. I can't quite enunciate exactly what I'm thinking on that, but I think there's a really good 20 issue run there done if it's released a little differently.
I'm going to add into a completely unrelated and different point, but it underscores why this is such a struggle with Ben Reilly and turning him to Chasm and everything else is, and something that manga does right that Western comics like DC, Marvel don't, is there is no sense of progression with the main characters. They don't age. They don't progress in life. They don't develop relationships and have them stick. They don't follow a linear sequence for developing their canon. They're stuck in the same 1 to 2 year time loop. So of course the creators are going to struggle trying to create a new villain and make it interesting and have them do something different, because this person is locked in time. It's Superman or Batman or Spider-Man or the Fantastic Four, wherever else. They're locked in this infinite cycle of 1 year over and over again. And the farther we go away from the origins of those characters, the harder this is going to be for a writer, especially writers that are not particularly talented, depending on who you ask. They've got to figure out how to overcome that hurdle by doing something different. They've either got to start aging up the characters and give them. Look at Dragon Ball, Goku, right? Dragon Ball. He's a grandfather. He's a grandfather. Yeah. He's got family. He's got an expanded circle of friends and family and everything else. Look at Naruto. He's now a Hokage. The adventures are from their son.
Goku is a horrible husband, though.
Yeah, he's a horrible husband. That's for a completely different reason. But the point is, these characters progress. Their life progresses. Even if they come up with like clever, weird ways to prevent them from aging, life still moves on.
Yep.
Spider-Man, Superman, Batman, the X-Men, all these people, their lives never move on. They're just stuck in this circle. So the only thing that the writer has left to do is to try and find new ways to come up with new villains to give them a new challenge. But at some point, you're just going to run out. There's just only so many ways you can do that. So until Marvel and DC overcome this hurdle of the characters not progressing or time not progressing and get them out of this time loop they're stuck in, you're never going to get any better than this. That's not to say you can't do something creative and come up with something imaginative, but at the end of the day, it's going to be like, okay, so what? Now we just move on to the next thing, and you start the year over again. They've got to figure out a way to get past that.
Kenneth Dowling says, I would like it if they would make all the Spider derivative villains, Spider-Gwen, Silk, Miles Morales, then Peter could kill them all, and we could have one Spider-Man.
Hey, I like the Spider family, though. I just like the Bat family. I think the Spider family is cool and how you have stories that's around.
So are you buying Spider-Gwen Gwenverse?
I actually read some of the comics, the Gwen Spider comics.
Are you supporting Miles Morales Spider-Man week or monthly, Fatal J?
I told you before this show started I wanted to pick up that Miles Morales store. I want to check that out and see what that's all about.
That's the What If comic. I'm talking about the regular ones with Miles Morales.
Oh no, I checked those out.
You like it, but you're not buying the comics, Fatal J.
Well, like someone said, I picked up one of the Miles Morales and it was boring as free. So I don't want to. I just like the concept of the family. I'm gonna tell you who did it right. Wes, did you see the Into the Spider-Verse movie?
Yeah, I've got kids.
I love that movie. I love that concept.
There's something wrong with the animation there. It was like it was
supposed to be comic booky, like the old school comics.
It was weird. It was gave me a seizure. But other than that, it was pretty good.
You shouldn't watch the next one then.
Maybe. What do you think, Drew? Is it time to kill off all the other Spider-Mans and just have one Spider-Man rule them all?
I have no problem with that at all, or just kicking them all out of the city. Like I have the same thing with the Gotham, just get rid of all of the vigilantes, get them all out of Gotham, make it all about Batman and get this back, focus on Bruce.
So you don't like the Bat family?
It
is too many freaking Robins. I agree.
Too much of a focus, not just Robins. I mean, everyone. Almost half of the population of Gotham's a vigilante at this point. It's just
right.
Just get it back to Bruce. Back to basics. Just get everyone out of Gotham, kill them off, whatever. I don't care. Just make it fun again. It's not fun anymore.
Or you've got a multiverse. Why don't you just kick Batman off into his own Earth where there's nobody else and he just starts over in a new Gotham?
Sold.
You guys forgive me. Y'all forgive me. The last comic book that was dope with the whole Bat family was Battle of the Cowl. That was to me that was. It made sense. It made sense. Yeah.
We do have Kirk later. He says, I'm late to the party, but I'm here for the returns of Fatal J and Stone Cold Steve Austin all in one day. Life is good. Who else is going to be enjoying WrestleMania?
Hey, man, you made me want to clap 2 beers together for saying that.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
You watching WrestleMania?
Nah, I haven't watched WrestleMania since Hulk Hogan was in them joints. Since Undertaker was winning all of it. I haven't watched it.
Nobody's watching WrestleMania?
It ain't fun no more.
You guys are lame.
Because Jake the Snake isn't there, or Bret the Hitman Hart.
Snake, he's like 70.
Yep.
Yeah, it's no fun no more.
He was dead.
The old guys.
No, he's on AEW. He's a manager.
We need to have a holographic Macho Man versus holographic Ultimate Warrior.
Sold.
I will watch that too.
We had a WrestleMania match and it was fantastic. All right, that was the one where Macho Man was forced to retire. We got Robin in the Hood, and I'm gonna have to step out because it sounds like my dog is mad. I blame Ultimate Spider-Man for all the pacing issues in comics. The OG written for the omnibus. Be right back.
I blame.
He's not wrong. I mean, Bendis is the one that popularized.
Oh,
Doc, you coming in hot, man?
Oh shit! Sorry, guys. Weird. All right, I'm gonna shut the fuck up now.
No, you're normal now. You're
okay now.
You're good now.
I don't know what that was. No, yeah, he's not wrong. Bendis is the one that really popularized that right for the trade, and then eventually right for the omnibus.
You know what? Freak Bendis. I'm trying to sit down and read Powers, and I can't do it because it looks like I'm reading a freaking novel. All those word bubbles, man. Look here. When I read a comic, I want to turn my brain off when I'm reading. I know that doesn't make sense, but for me, it does. and Bendis make it so hard. The concept of powers, I think that's absolutely dope. But I can't get into it because I'm reading a freaking novel on one page. One page, I'm reading a novel.
You know what's funny about this? You know, Bendis did a video interview, I figure like 15, 20 years ago, talking about where comics were going, talking about the splash pages, calling it the money shot page. It is, and he said like the problem with comics is that almost every page was becoming a money shot page, but he's in turn made his own money shot page, which is like every page being covered in word bubbles. That's his money shot page, and it's like you've just gone from one extreme to the other.
There's a little bit of a joke here about white bubbles on everybody's face and word bukkake. That's what we got here. We got word bukkake.
Kanice, I'm pretty sure powers is dope. But what I'm saying is it's hard to get into it when you read one page and it has 100 word bubbles on there. Now, shout out to the letterer, because you have to be truly talented to put all those word bubbles on there and you still have the art. You can still see the art. I wouldn't be able to do it.
That does beg a question. Does Bendis's letterer get paid by the word?
Ooh.
Or by the page? Because I would decline every Bendis comic if I was a letterer and I wasn't getting paid by the bubble.
I would say by the letter. Yeah, I better be getting paid by the letter.
Yeah.
Yeah. The more he continues to work in the industry, the more I'm convinced that history will not look kindly on Bendis's legacy. He had a strong start, but ever since I think
AVX.
Before Civil War II, I want to say somewhere around 2014.
It was
something just took a left turn on that guy. And I've read his book. Like, I have his, creating comics book, and I read that because I, just curious when I kind of get a little bit inside that. That's not a great book. It's not because he mixes his philosophies and how you do things with a lot of creator interviews, and this is when Sana Amanat was really starting to come on the scene, and Marvel and everything else. So he has interviews from all these different creators, and a lot of the times the answers to questions from different creators and different editors and different executives at the different publishers are completely contradictory to each other. And I'm reading this and like, so what is the point you're trying to make this? When I asked Dan Slott this one thing, I asked Sana Amanat this other thing, and I asked this other person the other thing, and they give completely different answers to the same question. What is the point of this book? And I think he's trying to get across that, oh yeah, well, everybody does it a different way. Okay, well, that's not helpful.
It's like at this point in time, I would rather read a book on writing from Peter David, because clearly he's got it. He knows what he's doing to this day.
Oh yeah, I just picked this up.
I'm looking at that looks dope. I'm looking at the concept of powers, and I want to read it so bad, and it took me literally hours to get done with issue 1, and I can't see myself getting to issue 2 because of all them freaking word bubbles, man. I am a simple man trying to make his way through the universe.
If you want a book on writing, I know this is a really cliche recommendation. Get On Writing from Stephen King. If you've ever read that book, read that book. That tells you so much about doing excellent writing and how you pare it down and how you take out all the extraneous fluff and how you get to the point. That's an excellent book on that topic. And
we read comments to Gabriel? I'm sorry. We read comments to get to the point?
Yeah, absolutely, you get to the point. That's exactly what we were talking about earlier about the cover price and the amount of time that you have to read a comic and what you're supposed to get out of it, especially when you have floppies that are monthly. When you're separated by 30 days and you expect to hold my attention and keep me invested and keep me on the hook to come back for the next issue when the last issue was just extraneous fluff. If you want to know about writing and how to tell a story, read that Stephen King book. That's going to inform a lot. And it's going to point out what people are doing wrong when they're
writing. I'm sure how we got here, but we need to get back on the comic books. Comics.
Well, you the one get off. You were the one got off cam to fight dogs. I mean, that ain't our fault.
My dog was freaking out on the porch. I think there was an enormous toad. She hates those, so I had to go give her some emotional support.
He's fighting dogs in the rain. It's like the end of Lethal Weapon. So he's doing the Lethal Weapon thing outside.
Calvin says, what about Wally West? He's got his kids back. You should be reading The Flash from Jeremy Adams. It is absolutely fantastic. Got the whole Flash family back together. Fernando Passerin's doing really good stuff on art. So that is a great recommendation. If you say there's nothing good at DC right now, go read The Flash. That's a really good comic book.
The problem is what Gabe. I was gonna say the problem is what Gabe mentioned earlier, though. It's there for now, and then a year from now they're gonna revert back and push them back 5 years. Like,
okay, let's get through this stuff so we can. God damn it, guys! Come on. I've been so good about this. I haven't said nothing.
6 hour stream. We got to make it happen.
Gosh, got to get through this stuff. We're getting to the end of the show.
Sleep is for all women and children. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
All right, cool. So Fatal J, no, the Spider characters are not a family. They're literally Peter Parkers from different worlds. The Bat family are actually individuals with different personalities working together. And they don't have different personalities really anymore. So,
I think they dope, man. I like Miles. I like Gwen. Who else in the Spider family? I don't like the punk rock and roll Spider-Man. I don't like him. But for the most part, they're pretty cool. To me, I actually like the Spider family a little bit better than the Bat family. Besides Nightwing, everybody else is. Am I wrong for thinking that? It sure did get quiet.
The Shadow of the Bat miniseries should have been the moment to really explore just how great these characters are. But it all got undercut by bringing in Batman there at the very end to save the day. It's like, well, wait a minute. Wasn't this supposed to be glorifying how great Batwoman and Nightwing and Huntress and all them are? Except Batman come in and save the damn day. What the hell?
That rescue completely negated the entire point of that arc.
Yes.
And just on a higher level, too, they are completely making all of these supporting characters so two-dimensional that you're taking away what separates them and makes them good. So.
Wes, you there? We need you. Wes, come back to us. Wes, wake up, sleepyhead. Wes has left the building. Oh, well, it's the Fatal J show. Now, what's the last topic of the day before we close it out, guys?
We still had a few on the list.
We got a
number.
What's the last topic?
With the King Conan art.
Oh, King Conan, the comic book?
Yeah, they changed the art. Jason Aaron had them change the art, or whoever bent the knee.
Now, when it comes to Conan, is Conan on Marvel? It's still on Marvel, right?
Mm-hmm. They still on Marvel.
Oh, okay. Anybody reading it? Is anybody reading King Conan?
I read the Sumerian from Blaze. It's amazing.
I like the stuff that they was doing, and I know a lot of hardcore Conan fans is probably going to be against this, but when they put Conan in Avengers, I thought that was dope. When he had that fight with Wolverine, I would like to see more stuff like that, more crossovers. Now, is that blasphemous in the Conan world?
I don't know about blasphemous. It's just odd, weird. It's just it doesn't feel right. I'll say that. It just feel like they don't belong.
What's up, Sleepyhead? You feel better?
No, I don't feel better. Did we talk about this? The Fatal J No super chat.
Yes,
we did.
Yes,
all right. We got a couple more here. Let's get to these. We got Ribbon Flip. Timon Flip. Or something of that nature. The difference about the Spidey family and the Bat family is that in the Spidey family, all the characters feel the same as Spider-Man, while on the Bat side, they are their own characters, good or bad. What do you think about that one, Josh? You're the big DC guy, the Batman historian. There were certainly a lot of similarities between Dick Grayson and Jason Todd at the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, Jason Todd was originally made to ish. He was made to be a gymnast. I think the only thing that they did different was they gave him red hair and then he dyed his hair black. But yeah, we kind of just touched on this a second ago in saying that originally there were many differences that separated these characters out. And now they're being written in such a two-dimensional way that they're all just kind of like clones of one another. So as much as we want to say they're different characters, it's kind of the same thing as the Spider-Man situation. They're kind of falling into that rut.
I'm going to tell you what killed it for me. It's too many Robins. It's too many Batgirls. Just stick to one. I can understand the Nightwing situation that you needed another Robin. But when you get 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 Robins, it kills it for me. It makes it diluted. So I like the Spidey family better.
I don't know. I kind of like the Bat family, but there are too many redundant characters in the Batman family. They don't serve individual purposes anymore. Josh, you got the Signal and
Doc is killing me, man.
That's not me.
I think. Oh, that was you.
That was you, Doc.
That was not me. Nothing. Literally nothing is moving here.
It sounded like you took your microphone and started rubbing it on your crotch or something. You know
Sound like you were mouth hugging it.
Were you mouth hugging your microphone?
No, seriously. Literally nothing.
All right. Yeah, there's definitely too many versions of the same characters. It dilutes it. Same thing with Wolverine. There's nothing really special about the Wolverine clothes. We got Common Sense, Keep Young Justice, Reject Bendis. This is HBO Max cartoon. Is Bendis working on HBO Max?
Justice animated?
I don't
know, but the Young Justice animated show is wonderful. Have y'all seen
that's
it?
Greg Weisman, the guy that did Gargoyles.
Oh, okay. No wonder it's good then. It makes sense.
Yeah, this thing is awesome. But I think Bendis was definitely looking to work with HBO Max and some of the Warner Brothers properties when he took the move from Marvel over to DC, since he was kicked out of the writers' room thing that the MCU had. What do you want to say, Josh? I can see
it'll be
I was just going to say, apparently HBO has tapped Bendis for a Legion of Superheroes series.
Oh, God.
Well, that sounds terrible.
If Bendis is a part of it, it will be a ton of dialogue. Trust me.
Yeah.
Well, at least they won't be word bubbles. It'll just be
as far as we know, don't give him ideas.
It's apparently going to be an adult animated show. So,
well, if he writes it as well as his show running work on Naomi.
He's the showrunner on Naomi?
Well, he's like an executive producer, and it's his character too, so I'm sure he has some hands in the scripting as well. That is not a good show. I'm being facetious. It is not a good show.
I'm pretty sure everyone in that writer's room told Brian Bendis to get his testicle head out of there.
I think it was Kevin Feige mostly. We got Dylan Lindsay. Cyclops was right in Avengers versus the X-Men. Avengers were the bad guy.
I'd say the X-Men are the bad guys, but that's just me at this point.
Nope. No, look, the AVX was the start of Marvel's let the X-Men fix all the problems of the world, and somehow the Avengers need to fix them and bring those problems back. X-Men fixed everything in AVX, so the Avengers had to fix that. It got rid of racism in, it was that House of M and Avengers versus or X-Men versus Inhumans. Somehow the X-Men are always the bad guys when they fix the problem that somebody else has created.
Oh, it's Krakoan era. They're definitely the bad guys. We got Kenneth Dowling. Apparently he's heading out. Before I head out, I recommend Batman Beyond the White Knight. Really enjoyed it. I wasn't on the Sean Gordon Murphy trade when White Knight came out. I'm sticking with this book and may revisit White Knight Peace Fellows. Definitely do revisit that thing. I think is one of the few comic books that's been written in the last 10 years that I think people will still be buying and reading in 20 years. I think that one's got a lot of potential. The art is absolutely fantastic. Speaking of Batman White Knight, let's move over into this last topic that we'll talk about. And thank you so much to Kenneth Dowling for joining us again to support the channel. But we had some big #1 issues at DC and Marvel. We had Batman Beyond the White Knight #1. We also had Shadow War Alpha #1. And we had Immortal X-Men #1. Gabe, you read all of these. Are there any standouts or any of these comic books that left an impression with you?
No.
You didn't like any of them?
No, I like them. I like them just fine. But that's it. They were fine. I don't think any one of them really stood out to me. I think we talked a little bit about the Immortal X-Men with Mr. Sinister being at the heart of that. It's fine. It looks like it might be going somewhere, but it's a lot of people standing around talking. It is very impenetrable if you're not already up on your X-Men lore, especially everything that came out of the Hickman era and the X-Slack. So if you're trying to pick that up new, you're going to have no idea what's going on. Batman Beyond White Knight, I think for that one probably has the most potential. The art is fantastic. I love the art on that a lot. I like the slight modifications to Terry's costume. It gives him more of an armor feel rather than kind of like that sort of slick, almost like symbiote skin type of feel. It's a little bit more armorish, so I like that a lot. There wasn't as much Terry in there as I wanted. I think it was a little too Bruce focused, which is the point of Batman Beyond, is to be past Bruce into Terry sort of taking up that mantle in a future state, kind of like 2099. So it was good, but I think it was one of those things where it's the first issue. Let's see how the second issue goes. What was the other one? Was the
Shadow War Alpha?
Shadow War Alpha. Good. It was good. I mean, it didn't blow me away. It just didn't blow me away. And I think that's kind of where we are at this point. There's too much that's just okay. I'm looking for great. I want something to grab me. I want something to hook my attention and said, oh, that's okay. I want to know more about this. And they were just okay. They weren't fantastic. They weren't terrible at all. I'm not trying to say that at all, but just they didn't grab me like I thought they should have.
Doc, I know one of them grabbed you, right, buddy? Right by the testicles and made you scream. You loved it.
Yeah. You know what? I did. You can wait until you listen to my review for Immortal.
No,
X-Men.
I'm talking about the one you like. The one that you said was great.
Beyond the White Knight, I truly enjoyed. Thought it was an excellent start. I understand it's a different take on White Knight. Or rather on Batman Beyond, especially with Terry. I have a feeling it's going to be a lot like Curse of the White Knight, where that should have been more of an Azrael story, but it was still a Bruce story. This is still going to be a Bruce story to some degree. I think Terry I think as it goes on, Terry will be a bigger player in this story, but it's going to be a lot of Bruce versus Powers in this, and with Terry kind of stuck in the middle. Because we didn't get to see a lot of, in the original cartoon, in the Batman Beyond cartoon, Bruce stepped back a lot more. And this time we're going to see it with Bruce being a little more central in that power play between the Wayne side and the Powers side. So I'm looking forward to it. I really enjoyed the first issue. I still think, Gabe mentioned earlier about that Stephen King book on writing. I think that if there's any modern creator that could put together a how-to on making comic books these days, it would be Sean Gordon Murphy, because I think this is just exceptional.
What did you think, Drew? Obviously, you read all the comic books. Were any of these standouts for you?
Yeah, I would say like what everyone just said, Batman Beyond the White Knight. I had a lot of fun reading it. Was it the greatest issue? No, but was it enjoyable? Yes, absolutely. Had a lot of fun reading it. And clearly, Sean Gordon Murphy's doing well off. If you go to his website and you see how much he's making off selling those pages, holy shit, it's ridiculous. But I have a lot of fun with this. And like Gabe said, my brother said the same thing in our reviews. He's like, I wanted more Terry. And I'm sure we're going to get more Terry down the road. We will. But yeah, it's a Bruce-centered story. And I'll talk about it more when you and I do our reviews.
That's
Wes.
the week tomorrow. Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, Fatal J, which one of those comic books did you like the most this week? These new number one.
None of them, because I'm not reading that crap.
You don't read comic books.
I read comic books all the time. I just don't read reads and stuff because it's not good.
Man, even when I put it on the documentary, this is what people are coming for. This is what they want. We'll see. Fatal J, talk about Lord of the Rings. Talk about something you really love.
Gabriel just summed it up. He just summed it up when he said he didn't like none of the new books. That's my opinion.
Man, they were the next question. We'll see once to hear you talk about Lord of the Rings, sir.
There's no Lord of the Rings. Look, let me tell you something. I want to thank Wes so much because it's been no Lord of the Rings news recently. So I talked about the Snyder Cut. I haven't talked about the Snyder Cut in months because I was scared my channel was going to be a Snyder Cut channel. I've been talking about other
channel, sir.
Well, not recently. I've been talking about like the Will Smith slap, and that's been doing good, and Lord of the Rings. And now, thanks to you, I started talking about the Snyderverse again, and it did pretty good.
Fuck them bitch ass hobbits.
You don't.
Well, how about this? We'll put it like this: the problem that Amazon right now, that whole wave of backlash, which they deserve, by the way, it's my opinion.
Yes, they do.
deserve, by the way, is exactly the same problem that you have with Man of Steel. It's the same problem that you have with Doctor Who. It's the same problem you have with Star Wars. It's all the same thing. Is you have an establishment or an established base for why a character is successful and why people emotionally invest and become fans. That's how you become a fan. You emotionally invest in something. And then when you start screwing around with that, you're going to make people upset. So the Lord of the Rings, same problem. You start screwing around with the source material, you're going to upset people. And if you're not prepared for that, then don't even bother.
Gabriel, let me ask you a question. Now, you familiar with Tolkien Middle-earth lore? Are you familiar with that?
I've read all the books multiple times, yes.
Okay. See, this is a tad bit different, though, because me and you both know Tolkien was very precise and very detailed about his lore.
Yes.
If you screws everything else up. So this backlash that they're getting, this has never really been seen before. Down votes on a new trailer. It's always up votes on new trailers. If they don't get this right by September, you're going to see a nuclear bomb go off. I promise.
So when you see all these articles about toxic fandom and fandom going out of control and everything else, there are very few fandoms that exist that are older than Tolkien fandoms. Very few, because those books are old and those fans have been around for a very long time. You have actors, theologians, professors, all kinds of people from all walks of life who read those books over and over again. They make it an annual ritual. If you're talking about a fandom that's been around longer than most any other one, it's Tolkien fans. You mess that up, you are in a world of hurt and you deserve it.
Yep.
So Common Sense knows what that. He says Doc is thirsty for hobbits.
Fuck them bitch ass hobbits.
It's those hairy feet, isn't it?
Hey, where's Bill Sienkiewicz? Hey, yo, fuck your hobbits. Again.
I'm reading The Hobbit to my boys right now.
Have no interest in stupid hairy feet midgets.
That's a great book to read to your kid. I read that book in 4th grade, blew my mind, man.
Everybody loves a talking dragon.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah, it's like he's above us because he only likes superheroes. He doesn't like that fantasy stuff. Like
I was more into the Odyssey when I was younger. I loved that Latin Beowulf.
Odyssey's fantastic.
Oh, Odyssey, dope.
You can't really read that to 6-year-olds.
Y'all never seen the sci-fi Odyssey movie? Sci-Fi Channel?
No.
Man, y'all need to watch that. That's a classic.
Sci-Fi Channel's never made a classic.
They made a classic with this.
Didn't they do Sharknado?
That's way before they.
Hey, yo, hold up. They did the Dune miniseries that current movies are literally just shot for shot remaking with a higher budget.
Let me pull this up, man. Y'all not just gonna diss
yo, if you really like the Odyssey, just go watch Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? It's the same fucking movie. It's the same story.
Kind of. Sort of.
It's the same story. They even have a Cyclops.
Y'all never seen this movie right here with this dude in it? Y'all never seen that? Bro, this is a dope movie, man.
Oh,
it's
with Armand Asante. Yeah. That actually was pretty good.
See? Gabriel even likes it. Wes, you need to, after this stream, after you do a video, watch that movie, man. It's good.
You don't know what my life is like. I got to go up and check on the wife and the 2 kids. And I got to record some other stuff with Drew. And then I have to edit video for 3 hours and hope that I can watch wrestling tomorrow.
Well, Wes, Dave, when y'all get some free time, watch that movie, man. If you like the Odyssey.
Yeah, but here's the commonality between all of them: the Odyssey, Beowulf, even the Lord of the Rings. It's all the hero's journey.
Yes,
absolutely.
It's all the hero's journey. It's the same thematic element that strings them all together. Now the logistics and the world and everything around them is completely different. But at the end of the day, it's taking somebody who was thrust into a situation and they were forced to grow to overcome it. That's the classic hero's journey in all of them.
Absolutely. And on that note, let's bring this bad boy home. Let's talk about some comic books that people should be buying. I'm sorry we didn't get to all the topics, but we got through all the good stuff. We answered all your questions. I hope everyone had a good time. Let's talk about some comic books to recommend. Doc, what are you recommending this week? Immortal X-Men #1, or are you recommending Batman Phase Clan #1?
None of the above. I'm going to recommend ASM 93.
First appearance of Chasm.
First appearance of Chasm. It was a good ending to the Beyond era. I still don't understand why they're rebooting with another issue, but fucking whatever. And
60th anniversary of Spider-Man issue 900. That's why it's happening.
Yeah, I understand, but they're almost to issue 100, so why not just whatever? I don't care. Batman Beyond the White Knight. I am heartily recommending that series. And
you said hard. I thought you were going somewhere else with that. I didn't think there was going to be a Lee on the end of that.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
My goodness.
And I'm going to recommend the Magic Order 2 #6. I wasn't as big of a fan of the Magic Order 2 as I was of the first one, and compared to King of Spies, which was coming out at the same time, I thought King of Spies was better, but Magic Order 2 was still pretty good. And there was a kind of interesting twist that took me a minute to wrap my head around at the end of it. But I generally like everything that Mark Miller does for his Miller World stuff. So, yep, those are the three.
Fatal J, what do you recommend people read this week? Should they just go to your channel, watch the Snyderverse video if they like the Snyderverse?
Man, I got some comments to recommend, man. First off, I want to recommend Scion. That's a comic book that came out by an independent company called Cross Dream Comics. I'm pretty sure all you guys know about it. It's a perfect mix of sci-fi and fantasy mixed together, and they did it right. The art is beautiful. And one thing I want to say about Cross Dream Comics, to me, that was like the only independent comic book company where they made every book dope. I'm talking about all their titles. They made the perfect universe in a short amount of time. I love Scion. Check that out. It's a dope book. Oh, yeah, and go to the Fatal J channel, too, and check out my videos.
I remember the Fatal J. He's like the fastest growing nerd YouTuber in there.
Well, Wes, man, you was talking. I don't discover some tricks to the trade. If you would actually read the stuff I sent you.
I read the blog that you sent me, and I'd already been doing all that stuff. Didn't you notice on my channel earlier?
But that's why you growing too, then.
Yeah.
That's why you growing.
Yeah. Well, let's not share these secrets with the plebs. You know what I mean? We want to keep growing.
We can't be like that. We got to help the community too.
Well, maybe I'll do a video one day on what you should do if you're a comic book YouTuber and you want to be mildly successful like Fatal J and myself.
Okay, cool.
Marginally successful. That's probably a better word.
All right, sound good.
Josh, what do you recommended this week? Base Clan.
Oh yeah, like if you want to hate your life, Base Clan. And I'm sad that when we were talking about the Odyssey, nobody brought up how great Batman Odyssey is. What's wrong with you guys? Best comic ever written. It's garbage. Don't read it. No,
the Hollow Earth aspect of it. What?
I'm gonna go ahead and say like Shadow War was fine. It was a fun read. There were some character issues like Wes and I talked about that, and then Batman Curse of the White Knight, not Curse of the White Knight. Sorry, Beyond the White Knight. It's a good start. It's a solid start, and then kind of what Gabe was talking about earlier. You know, it's one of these interesting areas where we don't have a lot of great books, so it's you know. There's a lot of bad books right now too. So when you get something that's just good, like put your money into it. Hopefully we'll get more. But yeah, I've got to hit my comic shop up later today, and then I'll see what else is out there.
Very nice. Gabe, what do you recommend this week? You got any indies for people to pick up?
Well, I got a little bit of everything. First, shameless plug, of course. Go to Weird Science for everything Marvel and DC. For everybody else, like Dynamite, Zenoscope, Mad Cave, Source Point, everybody else, go to Comical Opinions. So shameless plug. If you're looking at comics that I thought were good or worth picking up, DC, I'm going to recommend Swamp Thing #11. Everybody knows I'm not a Ron V fan, but this one he's starting up a new arc, or I won't say a new arc, but he's picking up phase 2 or whatever you want to call it, much improved. So he gets the gold star for most improved creator. So Swamp Thing number 11, because he got the ball rolling very quickly. He's made things happen. So I was interested on that. On the Marvel side, surprised the hell out of me, Ben Percy with Ghost Rider number 2.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a horror guy. I love horror, and he's leaning into it. So you get Ghost Rider. It was sort of like a mix of Ghost Rider and a slasher film kind of a thing, but with demons. I liked it a lot. So, and this has been Percy, so really surprised me a little bit. So for there, and then for the third, which is outside the big two, I'm going to recommend a title most people don't talk about, but they should. It's Battle Cats. Volume 3, number 7. It's basically Thundercats, if you want to look at it. But that run's been going on for 5 years, and this is the series finale. And they ended it perfectly. It's got a lot of heart, a lot of action, a lot of twists and turns with the villains coming, kind of dealing with the repercussions of their actions. So those are my 3 picks: Swamp Thing number 11, Ghost Rider number 2, and Battle Cats Volume 3, number 7 from Mad Cave.
Very nice. We've also got Infamy or Death. The only comics that I still buy are Barbarella, Red Sonja, and Vampirella, so I have to recommend them. Currently reading the manga Claymore and Chainsaw Man.
I love those Red Sonja books, man. Keep doing the good job over there at
Dynamite.
Dynamite?
Yeah,
Dynamite,
you got Mirko Andolfo on the main title, and Jimmy Palmiotti on the Invincible.
Those books are excellent.
Nice.
Keep it up.
You like the cosplay covers, don't you?
No, man, it's just great stories and art they giving everybody, man.
You perv.
Yeah, Wes, you're a little right on that too.
Yeah, they get a rap for the cosplay covers, but you'd be surprised. Some of those comics they're doing well. I was actually kind of almost impressed with Christopher Priest on Vampirella, Dracula Unholy that came out this week. He's that title is much improved.
Yes.
Very nice. Last up, Drew, what are you recommending this week?
Well, we're going to talk about our best a little later on, but I got these in the mail the other day, and I started reading them. The Grokken by Kenneth Rocafort. This is actually really damn good and beautiful. And the other one I started reading is Thomas Valiant by he's a R.J. Shaw. He's the Fourth Age, I think, on YouTube. Yeah, this is actually just old school superhero fun right here. I'm enjoying it. I'm going to if you can get those on Indiegogo and if they're in demand, please get them.
Definitely go over there and check out RJ's channel, The Fourth Age. It's absolutely fantastic. I've had him here a couple of times. Really, really nice guy, and I'm glad his comic book is out and people are enjoying it. And I do want to say thank you very much to everybody out there. If you want to hear what I'm recommending, there's going to be an entire video about it tomorrow around, 1, 2 in the afternoon, something like that. Drew and I will go over the best indie, Marvel, DC comics are out there. We covered all the news, had a great time. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. We'll be here next week for the Comics Aficionados.